Good morning, everybody. It is the Mike Missanelli Show on the air, and we've got some Philly baseball to talk about, namely because tonight starts a big series, a revenge series against those dreaded New York Mets. Now, I should tell you from the start that our producer, Ray Dunn, will be at Citi Field tonight. How about that? We got Bill here, we got Ray here, we got the Phils and Mets. And to discuss this series, we're going to have to go back in time a little bit to the series that just passed. But let's give you a little something on the Mets. 15-7 right now. I know we haven't been paying attention to that team in the North, but they lead the Phillies by 2 games in the standings. And tonight, it's Aaron Nola against Tyler McGill. Now, to compare these two teams, we'll look at the last 2 games versus the Marlins. Now, I'll tell you in general. The Phillies, to me, are miles ahead of the Mets in their starting rotation. Now, you look at the rotation. Senga's been good. McGill's been okay. Griffin Canning, Clay Holmes. The rotation, however, has a 2.42 ERA, and overall, their staff has a major league best 2.35 ERA. That will not stand. That will alleviate as this season goes on. Now, you look at the Mets, they got the same problems that the Phillies have in the field. They have a center field problem where Tyrone Taylor hits like Tyrone Johnson. He's hitting 202. He stinks. Their DH, Winkler, he stinks. Their third baseman, Beatty, he stinks. And their catching with Alvarez hurt stinks. But their bullpen seems to be deeper. Which brings us full circle back to Saturday and Sunday with the Phils and Marlins. Saturday, they win the game, but they give up 6 in the 9th. Now, among the bullpen failures in Saturday's game, Hernandez, that's an acquisition, a late season acquisition, or early season acquisition, 3 hits, 3 runs in an inning. Ross was okay, even though he gave up 3 hits. And then here comes our boy, Romano. Oof. 6 hits and 6 runs on 22 pitches. It's almost impossible, but he did it. Now, yesterday, who gives it up? Kerkering and Strom. And they're supposed to be 2 of the reliable 3 guys that they have. So what are we down? The 1 reliable bullpen guy? That ain't good. Now, you look at Sunday's game. The Marlins are a horrendous team. In fact, I like baseball. I like to watch baseball. I like to watch good baseball. Bad baseball makes me cringe. It is painful to watch the Marlins, the way they pitch and play defense. So what happens? The Phils almost give back 2 games to them. Let's look at the 8th inning yesterday. Bender's in, right? I don't know who that is, but he walks Castellanos and he hits Kepler. Bohm hits a grounder. It should have been double play, but Lopez bobbles it. They only get 1 out. Now, with 2nd and 3rd, I'm thinking along with the manager, and I'm going, why would you bring Cal Stevenson up in that situation when you got a more experienced hitter in Cody Clemens? And Cal Stevenson came up after hitting 179 in AAA. Well, he gets away with it because Cal Stevenson hits the ball that probably should have been handled. It's an infield hit. They score on that. And after the game, the manager says he didn't want to use 2 players. It's the 8th inning. Why are you worried about using 2 players? Sometimes these decisions that he makes don't make any sense to me, even though I like Rob Thompson. Because if Clemens is there, an extra base hit wins the game. Are you planning to win the game, or what are you planning to do? I don't understand some of the things that go on. But the Phillies lose a game to the Marlins on Sunday that should have won. It hurts as you go into a revenge series against the Mets. So we're going to talk about that today. Bill Colarulo, good morning, Bill.
Good morning, Mike. Hope you had a good weekend. Ray, hope you had a nice weekend as well. Excited to be back here on this Monday morning. Look, there's a lot of negatives that you could take from this weekend with the bullpen, some of the decisions Rob Thompson made. But I'm going to try to give you some positivity on this Monday morning because looks like the bats are starting to wake up. I know it was the Marlins. I know they should dominate against the Marlins, but this Bryson Stott leading off has really worked out pretty well over the last few games. You look at 7 games with Bryson Stott leading off. He's hitting .310. He's got a .364 OBP. He's averaging 4.81 pitches per at-bat. That's second in all of Major League Baseball. And those three guys at the top of the lineup this weekend, Stott, Trey, and Bryce, combined for 15 hits, 11 RBIs, 7 walks, 5 stolen bases. Alec Boehm on a 7-game hitting streak. Your boy, Johan Rojas, might be the answer in center field, Mikey Miss. Johan Rojas hitting .344 on the season. He goes 6 of 12, scores 4 runs this weekend. So, yeah, I'm worried about the bullpen. I'm worried about the right-hander in the pen because you don't have one. Romano's not the answer. Kirkring's struggling. But if you're looking for positives, starting pitching has been very good. Jesus Luzardo, another solid outing yesterday. And the bats are starting to wake up. Even Bryce Harper, 9 RBIs in his last 6 games. He only had 5 in the first 16 of the season. So I get the worries about the pen. I get some of the concerns about Rob Thompson's decisions. I'm feeling good this morning, and I'm excited for the series against the Mets.
Oh, wow. Look at you. So have they finally found their leadoff hitter? Is that what you're saying?
I would keep rolling them out there. I mean, look, you're going to get 2 right-handers on the mound in the next 2 games against the Mets, so you'll see Stott as your leadoff hitter, I'm assuming. But then in the business person special on, Wednesday, there's a lefty on the mound. I'm curious if they roll with Stott again against the lefty. I doubt it. But I do like it. I kind of like this lineup. I know the issue is with Schwarber not coming up until your cleanup spot, he's not going to get as many at-bats. But if Stott's swinging the bat the way he is, it's worked out pretty well. I like it.
So the Phillies have a lineup. They have a set lineup, it looks like. Stott, Turner, Harper, Schwarber, Castellanos, Kepler, JT, Boehm hitting 8th, and Rojas hitting 9th.
I like it.
You like that lineup?
So far, I mean, look, it's hard because the Marlins stink. So I'd like to see it against this Mets team.
The Marlins they're dreadful. They dreadfully stink. They really do. It's painful to watch that team. It really is. They can't feel the. My God, they're terrible defensively.
Yeah, they are pretty bad. I mean, look, they Alec Boehm. What was it in the? What inning was it? Where it was it the 8th that you're talking about when they pinch hit with Stevenson?
Yeah, it was the 8th inning
where Boehm really could have hit into a game-ending double play.
It should have been a game-ending double play,
and they bobble it. But yeah, they're terrible.
They bobbled 2 balls in that inning to help the Phillies out, or they would have been out of the inning. But the decision did it not raise any eyebrows when Cal Stevenson got that at bat?
It was curious. I don't know if it was a way like. We talk a lot about Rob Thompson trying to, give confidence to his players. In that situation, though, Stevenson's probably not up here for the long term anyway. So I don't know why you would do it in that situation. His reasoning after the game, like you said, what are you worried about using 2 players when you're trying to win the game there? It was weird. It was a head-scratching decision. But, look, I'm more nervous. Rob Thompson's going to always be Rob Thompson. What did you think? Let me ask you another decision about Thompson. What did you think about him not letting Luzardo go back out in the 8th inning yesterday?
I had no problem with it. 88 pitches? He had 88 pitches?
Yeah, 88.
You're not going to get out of that inning. You're going to wind up throwing 100, maybe 110 pitches.
Yeah.
To get out of that inning.
And you're expecting Kirkland should be able to shut down the Marlins there.
No, I didn't have a problem with it. But, again, the bullpen's giving it up, even with good starting pitching. So that's a problem with me. It's always been a problem. All right, we'll talk about it. We'll talk about other things. We'll talk about a trade possibility that's really catching fire here. The label of the trade possibility on its face is preposterous, but it's a classic barroom conversation. Trading A.J. Brown to move up to select Abdul Carter? We'll get into that a little bit today. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Tyrone Johnson.
97.5 The Fanatic. If you want to get in via text or telephone, call 610-632-0975. Hope everybody had a happy Easter weekend. The Pope passed away today, which is really, it's kind of eerie, man. The day after Easter, the Pope finally succumbs.
Yeah, it was. You're right. I saw it too. I'm thinking the timing was.
Did he do an Easter mass this year? Like, normally he comes out and does the Easter thing.
I think he did a blessing.
He surprised everyone. I don't think he was supposed to be there. He came out and did it.
He did come out, and then hours later he passed.
Mm-hmm.
That's almost like God calling him up, isn't it? You feel that weird vibe, Bill? You're a Catholic, right?
It
You're
is
a Christian.
Yeah, it is a little weird, but it's a nice mic drop for the Pope. Gives the blessing on Easter, and then
it's a nice mic drop for the Pope. Oh, damn.
Is that a bad taste?
Oh, man, that's a little bit.
Look,
but now we look forward to the white smoke.
Yeah, this whole thing is. I was reading about it this morning again. The tradition of what they have to do and all. It's interesting.
Ralph Fiennes is going to be the new Pope, apparently.
I don't get it.
Conclave, the movie.
Ray hit the.
You don't know what Conclave is about? It's about this exact.
I know.
process.
I just didn't watch it.
I didn't see it either, but I knew what it was about.
Yeah.
All right, that's above you.
So you're waiting for the white smoke.
White smoke, always the white smoke. Always anticipated. Is always something. You know, who could it be? All these Cardinals are out there trying to posture, right? Trying to get called up from AAA.
Yeah, it's a big deal, man.
All right. Speaking of AAA, the Marlins played the Phillies. Ray, I want to get your opinion on what the Phillies are right now as they go into this Mets series. The Mets are ahead of them by a couple of games. The Mets are beginning surprising pitching from the rotation that you really didn't know about. Soto's not hitting that right away, but they somehow are 15-7. So in conjunction with what you saw with the Phillies and their problems, are they ready for this series?
I would have loved to talk about this Phillies team about 10 innings ago. The 8th inning on Saturday, I was like, great. They're going to take this series. They're going to have a laugher on Saturday. Sunday, you got Luzardo on the mound, Jesus on Easter. Like, we are all set. We are all good to go.
Jesus on Easter he went.
It's going to be beautiful. It was going to be a beautiful weekend. Romano happens in the 9th inning of that Saturday game, and then they blow the game on Sunday, and it's like they lost the game to that direct team. I understand you shouldn't expect a sweep in baseball, but it was just gross to watch. It was a gross effort from Romano on Saturday. It was gross to see them give that game away on Sunday, and not even just Kerkering giving it away. The fact they had an opportunity to win it against that AAA pitching staff and did not, it just leaves you disappointed. Like I can't say I'm disappointed with 2 out of 3, but I'm not thrilled with where they're at right now. I think that homestand, you left a lot to be desired. You got blown out twice by the Giants there, and you let a game get away against the Marlins. It's not. I don't feel all warm and fuzzy coming in here after Easter today and going up to New York to play the Mets. I mean, you're 2 back of them already?
Yeah, it's a shame because you want to go in there with momentum. But listen, they have a revenge factor coming into this series against the Mets. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, but what doomed them in the postseason last year? It was the bullpen, and now we're coming in here with a shaky bullpen.
Yeah, the lack of hitting as well. So
that's always been their issue.
But they're hitting the ball now. So you don't have a problem with their offense now, right?
No, and like we said, though, it's hard because they did it against the Marlins. But it'll be interesting to see what they could do against what is crazy, that the Mets, not only is their starting rotation been lights out, their bullpen. They got the 3rd best ERA with their relievers, too. So it'll be interesting to see what this offense does against them. But if they can keep hitting the way they've been hitting, then we should be all right.
Speaking of ERA, right-hander on this pitching staff with the best ERA right now for the Phillies.
The right-hander with the best ERA on this pitching staff? Well, who is it? Ruiz?
Taijuan Walker.
Oh, it's Taijuan Walker.
Wow.
That's where we're at to start the season.
Yeah, and then they had to yank him. I saw his velocity. It went down to 87. I go, well, there's something wrong with him.
Yeah, the command started to go on him too at that point.
Yeah, have we gotten an update on him?
People say, why would you send Walker out there? You got to notice the velocity drop. He's throwing 87 miles an hour. There's something wrong. He stiffened up. He tightened up. Something happened.
Yeah, now, Rob Thompson said it after the game. It was shoulder stiffness, but have we gotten any update? There's no...
He said he expects to make his next start. That was what Walker said. But I imagine a lot of people expect to make their next start after they come off the mound.
I can't believe I just heard you say that, and I'm like, oh, good. Never thought I would have said that about Taiwan
good.
Walker.
Yeah,
Never thought
I
would've
got
said
news
that.
for you. I see an explosion the likes of which we haven't seen since the volcano Vesuvius.
Oh, you think
the
it's
next
just-
time he pitches?
You think it's just bubbling?
I think it's
Walker?
bubbling. I think his velocity is going to now dip into the 80s. I see that in my crystal ball. But listen, that aside, we got the Mets series now. Ray, when you looked at that situation in the ninth inning when you brought up Cal Stevenson, what was your reaction as a baseball fan?
Why is Cody Clemens on this team?
You know what, does he not like Cody Clemens? He's given him 3 at bats so far, right?
Yeah, I think he's gotten up to maybe 5, like something like that, but it's not been any sort of role for him. And I understand he's here mostly because Weston Wilson was supposed to be that bench spot, and he ended up taking it. But there's no role for him here right now. Not wanting to use 2 players in that situation. I don't know who else you're going to end up putting in the game for Cody Clemens later on. I guess just injury precaution on that point. But I didn't really see. If Stevenson's your guy at that point, there's not really a reason for me to see Cody Clemens stick around here. Like
Yeah,
that's more it is. What it is for me
I
at this
just
point.
don't. I did not understand it at all. It doesn't make one bit of sense. And even as his rationale, you have to use 2 players. He wanted Cal Stevens to play center field. At that point, dude. I mean, you can move Kepler to center field at that point, no?
Yeah, Kepler's played enough in
play
center.
Cody Clemens. At that point, you're playing the Marlins. I didn't get that. That was overly cautious. But in any event,
Now, there's got to be something up, though, because he just doesn't.
he must
Use
not
Clemens
like
at
must
all.
not like the guy. What's Roger think of that? Roger making a call? All right. Well, any
don't know.
event,
I think Roger's getting back.
Ray, you're going to this game tonight.
I am.
Tell us the back. Oh, we're gonna take a break, but tell us the backstory of how you're going to Citi Field for this.
Okay.
It's really interesting to me that you're going all the way up there for this game.
He's bringing
That's
his
good.
5-0 record, baby.
It's true.
610-632-0975. We'll get to our text board after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies dropped the series finale. I'm Ray Dunn. This update is brought to you by Groundworks, your expert for basement waterproofing and foundation repair since 1997. Book your free inspection at groundworks.com. The Phillies took 2 of 3 over the weekend from the Marlins, but dropped Sunday's Game 7-5 to Miami in 10 innings. So Ryan Kirkry allowed the 3-run home run to surrender the lead in the 8th. The Phillies offense squandered a chance to win it in 9th, 2 on and 1 out. Bullpen struggles weren't just a Sunday problem, and Rob Thompson spoke on it postgame.
Again, it's just part of the season, and I think that'll even itself out over time. But we played so many close games there for a long period of time that, yeah, we did lean on them, but they're a pretty resilient group.
Phillies will now turn their attention to the NL East leading New York Mets up at Citi Field. Aaron Nola, Tyler McGill matching up on the mound with a 7:10 first pitch tonight. It's the week of the NFL Draft. Of course, you know the Eagles hold the 32nd pick. We'll continue to break down what they may do with that. Both the NBA and NHL playoffs are underway. Notably in the NBA, the West top seed, the Thunder, won by 51 points over the Grizzlies yesterday, 5th largest margin of victory in NBA playoff history. This update is also brought to you by the PGA Tour's Truist Championship. The Truist Championship is coming to the Philadelphia Cricket Club's Wissahickon course May 7th through 11th. Tickets are on sale now at truistchampionship.com. That's truistchampionship.com. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic, 97.5thefanatic.com.
Show 97.5, the Fanatic. Phillies and the Mets in a big series off the heels of a semi-disappointing series against the Marlins. Disappointing in that they almost blew one game, and they did blow another game yesterday as they go into this series. But, I'm looking at this Brandon Marsh situation, and the fact that he's on the IL, I think, is the perfect scenario for the Phillies because he'll undoubtedly have to do a rehab assignment, no?
Yeah, I think they said they're going to. I think I read something.
So he'll go down to AAA and get some at-bats, which was the Missanelli plan to begin with.
Yeah, it's perfect. It's perfect. You know who needs the Phantom IL stint? It's Jordan Romano. Be nice to get
Romano.
I know, I can't.
Jordan Romano.
I say Romano quite often, but then most people call him Romano. It just, he's got to change
Name's
it.
Romano.
It's got to be Romano.
Name is Romano.
He's pronouncing it wrong.
I'm
He's
gonna put
pronouncing
it on
his
the
own name
screen in
wrong.
front of you.
Canadian.
No, he's not.
He's a
He's
Canadian.
pronouncing his own name incorrectly. It should be
By Italian standards.
Romano.
Yeah, he is, but he's a Canadian Italian. It's different.
By the way, speaking of Italian, so yesterday I stopped by my grandmother's and
Grandma Ellie?
my wife was laughing because it was, do you want the Manigat?
Yeah.
And my wife's like,
Yeah, Manigat.
why is it Manigat?
We don't know.
Yeah.
We just say it that way.
It actually takes just as much energy to say Manigat that it does to say Manicotti.
Yeah.
Almost takes more energy to put the hard gut.
Manigat is it's perfectly fine.
Manigat,
It's shorter.
Calamad.
Yeah. In any event, speaking of your family, I don't understand you. I really don't. Your father-in-law is at it again yesterday.
On Easter?
On Easter.
This one's not my fault.
He drops off a couple of cans of mulch, which I assume he gets at the dump.
I don't know. I think he had mulch for his own house. And then what he did was, because I don't own a wheelbarrow,
He puts them in trash cans?
he put them in trash cans for me so that they could be placed in the proper location. So all I got to do is spread them.
Right. You are loath to spread the mulch.
Well,
you can't even spread the mulch.
My wife and I both were like, because now, like, we were going to just have the lawn people come and do the cleanup, and then not only do they do the mulch, they
You know how
plant
much
the
you're going to save
flowers.
now on mulch? You know how expensive mulch is? Your father-in-law brings over mulch. All you got to do is spread it, get a freaking pitchfork, and throw it on the ground.
Well, here's where it gets bad. He drops it off on Easter. My wife calls him from the car after we see it dropped off and said, hey, listen, we don't want to do it. And his response was, I'll be over to do it tomorrow.
This is what I mean. You don't want to do it. The guy brings the mulch over for you, and that's your response? We don't want to do it?
It's hard, man.
It's hard.
I got the kids, Ray.
It's your it's your freaking lawn. The guy brings it over gratis.
I know. I'm a terrible son.
I'm on his side, man.
I wonder if behind my back to his wife, he's like, what? How's this our son-in-law?
Well, they plant the flowers. The landscapers come over. Well, you put the mulch down. They can move the mulch to plant the flowers.
I don't know. The Phils are in New York this weekend.
You got to take the weeds out.
Breaking sports news from 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
What's going on, Ray?
The Eagles wanted to preempt all the mulch talk. I'm sorry. Pro Bowl center Cam Jurgens, the Eagles reached an agreement today on a 4-year, $68 million extension that includes $39.4 million guaranteed that contractually ties him to Philadelphia through the 2029 season.
Wow, look at that. They were
Great
going to
job.
get that done, and they got it done.
It's a great job. Look, he was.
Yes.
This is the first year he's eligible for the new deal because he just finished his third year of service. So you knew they were going to do it. Glad that they did. So
Pretty good draft pick there, Cam Jurgens.
Turned out to be a great draft pick. Replacing a legend in Jason Kelsey, you make a Pro Bowl in your first year as the starting
Yes,
center.
sir.
Pretty damn good. Congrats to
It
Cam
is pretty
Jurgens.
damn good. But now let's get back to this Ray going to Citi Field. And this your first time at Citi Field, Ray?
So I technically did a tour there, but I haven't seen a game there.
Okay, so you're seeing a game now. Now, what is the genesis of this idea to go to the game?
Getting a group of friends together. I think it was when the Mets signed Soto. They did some sort of deal where they were like, it's X amount of dollars for, it was like ridiculously cheap tickets. And they didn't make it like geo-fenced where it was only New Yorkers. So we're like, all right, why not just buy tickets for the first Phillies Mets game? And I have to say, I had no part in the actual planning of this. I got a text the weekend I was up in the mountains, my phone was off. They just assumed since they hadn't heard from me that I was in. So I was all right. Yeah. I'll go up
So
there.
where are your seats now for this?
137. We're out in left field.
Left field, but first deck.
First deck.
How much were the seats?
I think they were $15.
$15?
I think it was $15
Steal.
for 15 years. I think there was some ridiculous. Yeah, it was some ridiculous deal. I don't know how we got it, who got it. I just know that I have a ticket to Citi Field tonight, and I got to be in a car as soon as this show
Well,
ends.
that means you can spend a lot of on concessions because Citi Field might have the best concessions and food in Major League Baseball.
So I've been told.
You want me to go through it for you?
Please.
Adam Richman's Burger Hall of Fame. Now, that guy is like one of the quintessential food critics, very famous guy. I actually think he's from Philly, but he's got the burgers over there. He's got Juicy Lucy's, Fiesta Burger, Pat LaFrida, a meat, by the way. There was a big, famous butcher up there in New York, the Pub Burger. So there you go. Now you got the Amazing Chicken Company. Chicken tenders. General Sal's chicken tenders.
What?
Frosted Flake crusted tenders. Amazing Chicken Hero and cheesy tater kegs.
All right.
Now you got the Amazing Deli. Well, New York and their delis. You got the big hoagie situation with not hoagies, but the delis meats.
The pastrami sandwiches?
Yes.
And stuff?
Ooh.
You got bases loaded lemonade. Fresh squeezed hard lemonade.
All right.
Nah, Ray only does beer.
With a choice of vodka, bourbon, or tequila.
Right, would you go there or would you go straight beer, wouldn't you?
I mean, I got to look at prices here. It's
All
gonna
right,
come down
you got
to.
Beyond Nightlife Sushi. Fresh, hand-rolled sushi
A ball game?
at the ballpark. You got Big Ma's. That's the mozzarella sticks stand. You got Boozy Buckets. Fresh mixed cocktail served in a 32-ounce bucket topped with candy.
Good thing my brother's driving home.
You got Chef Kwame's Patty Palace curry chicken patty.
Where do they find all the space for all these things at the ballpark?
I'm not done. I'm only in the C's. Chitty's cheesesteaks.
Nah, I'm good.
Delicious, authentic cheesesteaks on fresh baked bread from Philadelphia. How about
pass,
that?
I'll pass on the cheesesteak.
You're going to
from somewhere
pass
that's not
on that?
Philly.
The rolls from Philly.
Ah.
You got to taste it just to make sure it's not comparable.
If I'm going to
to
spend $20 on something to eat, I'm not going to spend something to prove a point.
Now, you going incognito or are you rocking Phillies gear?
I'll rock Phillies gear up there.
You got Cookie Crumbs, an artisanal bakery that prides itself in creating decadent cookies.
Did you say artisanal?
Artisanal. Yeah, isn't that the way?
I thought it was artisanal. Is it artisanal?
Artisanal? Whatever. They got the Chunky Dunk.
The Chunky Dunk? What's
yeah,
that?
it's a home run of a cookie. Classic chocolate chip with milk and dark chocolate chips. They got the white chocolate macadamia nuts. They got all the kinds of cookies there.
Now, what do you think? The prices are got to be more expensive than they are in Philly, right? I mean, Philly's expensive.
I don't know. I'm just going down here. From the Stretch, the ultimate grilled cheese spot. Provolone and American cheese with a pimento spread in a pinwheel flatbread served with a tomato fondue. Fuku. You know what Fuku is? A fried chicken spot from David Chang's Mokofuku Group.
Obviously.
Very famous. They got the gluten-friendly stand. They got the hero, Jimmy's Greek Grill, which Bill would go right to. They got the hot pastrami on rye kiosk. They got a lobster shack.
Oh, yeah, Ray's
Lobster
definitely going
shack.
lobster at the ball game.
They got the Mr. and Mrs. Candy shop. They got a nacho shop. They got Naz's halal food. They got the New York panini. I'm not even done yet. The Pig Beach Barbecue. The Prime Kosher Sports Stand. Premio Hot or Sweet Sausage. Prince Street Pizza. Soul Bird. Seoul Bird. Korean American Chicken.
All right.
Dude, I'm telling you, man, you got to take advantage of this. They got Walk and Roll there.
He just told you he spent $15 for his ticket. You think he's going to the lobster stand?
He's got all that money left over.
All that money left over.
You got the Zeppeli stand. Look at this. This is nuts. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Tyrone Johnson, Ricky Vitalico, and Silvana Kelleher.
Call-wise, text-wise, 610-632-0975. In fact, our first call of the day is our on-the-road correspondent, the traveling truck driver named Reggie. He's calling from Ohio right now. Reggie, are you with us?
Yes, I am. Mike, how you doing?
Reggie, the last time we talked to you, you were on your way to Vegas with a big load of beer.
Right. I delivered that on Tuesday, and then I was off Wednesday and Thursday. And this load, I'll be in the Poconos near Dorney Park tomorrow.
Wow, so you're traveling from the West Coast to the East?
I go all over. Anywhere they ask me to go, I go.
Were you on the road for Easter?
Yes.
Oh man, Reggie, I tell you what, I have admiration for you. That's you persevere. That's a tough job.
But it was nice. It was nice because there was hardly any traffic. Saturday and Sunday there was snow in northern Arizona and New Mexico, about 3-4 inches. So I came through that. But
that's crazy.
It was good. Yeah, I was off Wednesday and Thursday though, so I was good.
All right, cool. All right, so so what do you do on your off day? Where were you on your off days?
In Las Vegas?
You were in Las Vegas, so you spent a couple days in Vegas.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, taking it hard, taking life hard.
Sometimes I'll do I'll do some activities like with fast cars. I love cars. So when I'm back there, I like to do some of that stuff.
Beauty. What an independent
Safely.
life. You got the opposite of Bill's life.
Yeah, you're right. Speaking of Bill, before I get to him, let me say hello to Ray. Yeah.
Hey, Reggie, how are you?
I'm doing good. Maybe you can find the sound from a cartoon in the 70s, Saturday morning, and it goes like this. I'm just a Bill, a lonely Bill, sitting here on Capitol Hill.
What was that?
That's Bill's theme song. It was a cartoon we watched on Saturdays, and it was teaching us a little bit about how a bill becomes law.
Really? I don't remember that cartoon.
Yeah.
I was doing sillier cartoons back then.
Yeah. But I was listening as Bill talked about his father-in-law bringing the mulch, and I started laughing, and I go, yeah, I'm on the father-in-law side.
Of course you're on the father-in-law
I think
side.
most people
the guy
are.
schleps a couple of big cans of mulch over, and my man can't even lay it down.
I'm a disgrace, Reggie. I know it. I know. It's disgraceful.
Seriously. All I had to do is tip the can down, get a little pitchfork, stick the mulch in there.
Not entirely true, because you got to pull the weeds before you do all that.
You don't
There's
have
some
to pull the
cleanup.
weeds. The mulch will kill the weeds.
There's some cleanup that needs to be
The mulch
done.
will kill the weeds.
Right.
Dump it on top of the mulch. Or the weeds. All right, Reg. What else you got?
Wait, Reggie, was that cartoon called Schoolhouse Rock?
Yes.
Yeah, Ricky Batalico just
Oh,
weighed in.
really?
Yeah, Ricky Bo just
Schoolhouse
texted.
Rock? Teaching you about law? I never watched Schoolhouse Rock, man.
Yeah, it was a catchy jingle about a bill becoming law.
Oh, man.
How about Ricky Bo with the answer?
Ricky Bo knew it.
that's
I watched the coyote get smashed by an anvil. Oh, the road runner.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. On the Phillies, though, I think the Phillies have been stale because Rob Thompson, when I listen to him, I don't get any substance. I think he's a crouton, if I will. Can I make a food reference? We know croutons are stale, but they can be crunchy once in a while. So we tolerate the crouton.
Yeah, I thought it was a peculiar move with Cal Stevenson, but I think he's a good manager.
Okay, you do. I don't.
Yeah,
I don't. I don't get anything. He's monotone.
Yeah, that's okay.
And
managers are okay being monotone.
Okay, and their play to me reflects.
Yeah. All managers are like this anymore. You don't get the Billy Martin managers anymore. But Reggie, thanks for the call. Be safe getting to the Poconos, man. We appreciate it. Yeah, the manager. Yeah, everybody goes, you do that sometimes too. You got to fire these guys up. You got to fire them up. You got to make them accountable, like football men.
Sometimes I think he does.
Not baseball.
Sometimes I think he does. But I have not been that upset with Rob Thompson this season. And I've said that before. I've thought that he's managed with a little bit more urgency. I know. I heard John this morning calling him. What was he calling him? Sleepy Rob again, or whatever
Was
it
he?
was.
John's not a big Rob Thompson man?
I don't think so.
No.
Yeah, I think
No?
he gets on Rob.
What's his problem with Rob Thompson?
I think he was calling him Sleepy Rob because he left Romano in for as long as he did in the ninth on Saturday. Right? Is that what it was? I just heard him
Where he
get
gave
on
up
him
6
a little
hits. He threw 22 pitches. That wasn't long. He just got buried.
bit. Yeah, in an 11-4 game.
Yeah.
I mean, that was a good opportunity to bring in Romano and hopefully get his stuff right.
Not like
Low leverage situation.
22 pitches is not a lot.
But I have not had that many issues with Rob Thompson. I do thought, like you pointed out in the first segment, a little bit weird that he goes with Cal Stevenson over Cody
It doesn't
Clemens,
that doesn't make any sense at all. Now, if the guy was a hot hitter coming up from AAA, that's different. He's not. He's hitting $179. Out of desperation, they had to bring him up. It's the only guy they had. Why put him in that spot when the chance? Cody Clemens is the better hitter. He just is.
Yeah.
And so you go with your better hitter in a situation like that, who drives the ball to the outfield, 2-run score, and then you don't have to worry.
Yeah, I don't understand it. But Ray said the same thing. Why even have Cody Clemens here? I mean, they did the same thing. Well, it was last week. I'm forgetting which game it was, though, where you pinch hit Rojas. You brought in Marsh to pinch hit for Rojas because there was a righty on the mound when Marsh is 0 for his last 30-something.
Here's the other thing. Unless there's an imminent deal for him that they don't want to play him.
Who, Clemens?
Yeah. They're planning on moving him, and they're talking to people. They're moving him. They don't want to take a chance at all that he gets nicked up.
It's possible. But no, I have not had issues with Rob Thompson this season. I kind of like that he's moving people in the lineup. Boom, struggling, moved them down. He's trying different things at the leadoff spot. I've liked that he's been tinkering. Tinker away, Topper.
All right. Would you trade A.J. Brown for the New England Patriots pick in which you would grab Abdul Carter? It seems like a preposterous hot take conversation. But when done right, it could be a productive conversation.
And in the same fairy tale world, are we packaging Joel Embiid and Paul George and anybody else we could throw in?
You want to make it a fairy tale, but sometimes fairy tales make for really entertaining stories.
I will talk
and
about
it'd be in rapt attention. 610-632-0975. We're back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies dropped the series finale. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies took 2 of 3 over the weekend from the Marlins, but dropped Sunday's Game 7-5 to Miami in 10 innings. Ryan Kirkby allowed a 3-run home run to surrender the lead in the 8th, and the Phillies offense squandered a chance to win it in the 9th with 2 on and 1 out. Bullpen struggles weren't just on Sunday, and Rob Thompson spoke post-game about that bullpen.
Again, it's just part of the season, and I think that'll even itself out over time. But we played so many close games there for a long period of time that, yeah, we did lean on them, but they're a pretty resilient group.
Phillies will now turn their attention to the NL East leading Mets up at Citi Field. Aaron Nola and Tyler McGill matching up on the mound with 7:10 first pitch for that one tonight. It's the week of the NFL Draft. The Eagles holding that 32nd pick. We'll continue to break down everything they can do on draft night and through draft weekend. Both the NBA and NHL playoffs are underway. Yesterday, the West top seed in the NBA. The Thunder won by 51 points over the Grizzlies, the 5th largest margin of victory in NBA playoff history. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling of owning your first Mercedes-Benz, hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching to the iconic design, every element of a Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the best 2025 Birds draft coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic at 97.5thefanatic.com.
Missanelli Show. Philly talk. About to get into this football discussion. I think this is really an interesting conversation because I know there are so many people that dismiss this as foolishness and hot takes, including maybe even our own Ray and maybe our own Bill with the foolish the trade possibilities.
Yeah, I think it's
there's
absurd.
some hot takes that are different than others. So some hot takes are actually conversational.
I wouldn't even classify it as a hot take. I just classify it as fairy tale.
Well,
it's not even a hot take because it's not possible.
Sports talk radio conversations sometimes are fairy tale, though. And that doesn't mean they don't bring value. Now, I think this one brings a little value because I'm curious to know how many people would be on board with it. And we'll get to that in a second. But let's get to the text board, which I'm sure we have some text so far, right? Do we have some good text about
Yes,
our
we do.
Fields? All right, what do we got here?
I think Topper, in many moments, typically the moments that involve decision-making, is soft, and that shows you why he was a bench coach for 500 years.
Okay. I don't know. I can point to a couple decisions, but not a lot. I think that he's a pretty stoic manager who knows what he's doing.
Yeah, I mean, look, I have been critical of Rob Thompson in the past, but it is hard to look at the track record and not say that the guy is a good manager. They've won a ton of games under him. He's got, the best winning percentage in franchise history for the Philadelphia Phillies. He's up there near the top in terms of active managers and winning percentage. I mean, it's hard to just dismiss him. You could get frustrated over a 162-game season. I was frustrated down the stretch last year with some of the things he didn't do instead of doing. I think he is a little too complacent at times. But this year, it's hard to be critical of him this year. I think he's trying different things. And when you go to your bullpen and Romano comes in and gives up 6 runs in 2/3, I mean, what are you supposed to do?
No, the idea of him pitching him in a low leverage situation there is a good idea.
It was smart.
Yeah.
You do bring him in that situation. You're trying to get him right. And look, when we talk about Romano, the one positive, his velocity was up.
Yeah,
Right, the
velocity was up,
velocity was
but
up.
he wasn't locating, and he was throwing meat. 6 hits and 6 runs is meat.
Now, they
No matter
said
what his velocity was.
Thompson mentioned after the game, is he tipping his pitches a little bit? Is that a possibility?
I don't know.
Because they knew it was coming.
If you're locating 99, it doesn't matter if you're tipping your pitches. They're not going to,
Yeah, they could know it's coming. They still
they're going
can't
to pile up a bunch of hits. All right, what else we got?
All right, we got Rick in Ocean City. I worry the bullpen troubles may have a chain reaction. Thompson may be now reluctant to use them and try to get an extra inning from the starters. Then the starters become more overworked than Bill's father-in-law.
I don't think Thompson. See, Thompson, the one thing I can count on, he's not going to overreact and extend his starting pitchers. That's the last thing he does is extend starting pitchers. He gets them out when they need to be getting out.
I agree with you there. But when you talk about the overworking, you could look at the arms we are confident in the bullpen, and they're getting overworked a little bit. So I don't know what the answer is going to be.
Well,
This is on Dombrowski.
Hey, listen, they didn't listen to me early in the season when I said that. Spring training, I go, this bullpen isn't stacked enough. And listen, nobody listens to me, Bill. And then they got to go, it's not always right, but I can't let them know that.
Yeah. You know what was good,
that's
though?
the way it goes.
I'm glad they traded away Sir Anthony last year for Austin Hayes. That worked out well.
How's Sir Anthony doing? Is he lighting it up?
He's doing all right.
He stinks.
It's better than what you got right now in terms of right-handers.
I don't know that he is. You better look at his numbers.
He's got a 0 ERA on the season.
Really?
In 8 1/3 pitched in 9 games.
Oh.
And then you look at what he did. I mean, it was short-lived with them last year, but in the playoffs last season, he came in, appeared in 2 games, didn't give up any runs in 1 2/3. No hits in 1 2/3.
Yeah.
I don't know. Could use another right-handed arm.
Yeah, they certainly can use another right-handed arm. You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show. It's 97.5 The Fanatic. It's WPEN and WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, a Beasley Media Group station. And we broadcast from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. It is 11 o'clock. Happy 11 o'clock to everybody. And we'll start the 11 o'clock hour with the great Dr. Mad Elf. Greg from Bethlehem is checking in today. Greg, you weren't the leadoff hitter, but you're in the Trey Turner spot.
Well, I tried. I've been trying to get through since 10 o'clock, but the system wasn't helping me.
Oh boy.
For some reason.
Yeah. Well,
And I missed my walk-up music. What happened to the Doors?
oh, that's right. Riders on the Storm. We were going to play for him. Oh,
Yeah.
Ray's got to hook that up. Yeah,
All
we
right.
missed that.
All right.
We missed that, brother.
Beautiful.
All right.
Hey, WTF Romano? Just
Greg threw a WTF on us.
Yeah, well, there's certain
Uh-huh.
limits to what you can say. How does somebody find his release point one game and lose it the next game, and then find it and then lose it? That seems odd to me.
I don't know. Listen, he's coming off an injury. He's struggling. I don't know what to make of him. I really don't. This may be a total bust that they took a chance on this guy.
Well, the other day after the game, he had some comments, and he said, "Yeah, I did what I wanted to do," and I don't know what he was looking at.
That's just he's just trying to tell stories at that point. He doesn't know what's you're a guy who gets raked like that, right? And your velocity's like, what do you say? Yeah, I don't know what
Well,
go ahead.
Well, I would say, hey, I missed my spots, and got hit around. You can't say I did what I wanted to do because it was a disaster.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. Anything else there, Doc?
I don't have my. No, I mean I like starting.
How was your Easter, Doc?
It was quiet. We didn't really do much.
Did you have a couple?
Oh yeah.
All right, buddy. Listen.
Got to have a.
Next time we'll have your walk up song ready. Okay. All right, buddy. There he is.
He dropped an oh yeah.
And a WTF.
Yeah. Did you watch?
And he actually expects the walk-up music.
He does expect the walk up music.
He's a big part of the show, right?
He wasn't the leadoff hitter today, though.
I would have thought Ray would have had the "I'm a Bill" on Capitol Hill song when we came back. It's you missed opportunity, Ray. Ricky Metallico sent me a link to it already.
Yeah, no, Schoolhouse Rock. I watched it. I knew what he was talking about.
You watched Schoolhouse Rock too?
Yeah, I forgot what the name of it was.
Where the hell was I? What was this show?
You were watching the Flintstones.
It's much better than Schoolhouse Rock. But
yeah, for sure.
But
Because we were
never,
learning something.
Never really heard of Schoolhouse Rock.
Maybe if I saw it, I would remember.
Was that a requirement by your teachers?
No, it was like teachers, maybe had a late night or probably didn't want to do much that day. They roll in the television to your...
Is that what they do?
Yeah.
They played it in their class?
Yeah. We were doing social studies.
I missed this complete era of this Schoolhouse Rock, man.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't my
Because
era.
I already knew what they were teaching, so that's probably why.
There you go.
That's what
Yeah.
I meant.
Wow. It was days like that really carried me to that SAT score.
Yeah.
What are the three branches of government, Ray?
The olive, the...
Oh.
All right, let's get into this conversation because I've been itching to get into it. Okay, so this station in Boston, WEEI. Now, happen to be, they used to be the main station. They've been overtaken. So the guy claims he has a source that says that the Eagles would be interested in acquiring Abdul Carter. And to do that, they would have to trade A.J. Brown. Now, it doesn't work at all salary cap-wise, so it's totally unrealistic. But that doesn't mean it's not a fun conversation. And there's a difference, again, there's a difference between a foolish hot take or a hot take that would make for a good conversation. Because the conversation here is, would you actually do that? You're an Eagle fan. Would you actually, if all the things were taken away that would prevent logistically that it could happen, if all that was taken away, would you actually do the trade of A.J. Brown for the chance to get Abdul Carter? And I'm going to tell you right now that I would do it in a heartbeat. You're going to get a dominant guy, a dominant edge rusher on a rookie contract. He's going to play a long time here, as opposed to A.J. Brown's giving you a good service. Believe me, he's giving you good service. Starting to get a little older, It makes 100% total sense to me, even though you would then deplete your receiving corps to the point where you may have to make another trade. Bill, you're not doing it, are you?
Well, I see what you're saying is to take any of the facts out of the question because, yes, if they were to trade him, you're talking about close to a $60 million dead cap hit. So knowing that it's impossible, knowing that it can never happen, if we're just talking hypothetically, would you trade A.J. Brown for Abdul Carter? I guess I could get behind it simply because I'm looking at the rookie wage
guess
scale.
you could get behind it. Either you would do it or not. What do you mean you guess you could get behind it? Give me an answer.
Here's why I would probably do it. If you took Abdul Carter with the 4th overall pick, he's going to carry a cap hit his first couple of seasons of around like $7 million, $9 million, $10 million. So not only are you going to get a player like Abdul Carter, you're going to save over $10 million in cap space by moving on from A.J. Brown. But this is why it's hard to ignore the cap ramifications because I'm only doing it because of the salary cap.
For the sake of the argument, the discussion, ignore the salary cap situation and just look at player for player. Would you do it?
I probably would. I probably would. See, the problem I have...
To me, it's like, no, it's not even a question.
Yeah, I probably would. Look, AJ's 28. You don't rely on your passing game as much. You know, you won the Super Bowl with the 29th ranked passing offense, even though AJ, when you needed him, was there. I would probably do it.
Now, here's the thing. I love all the serious journalists. They get offended when you bring up this is a classic hot take. Well, yeah, I get it. They also sports discussions among friends are mostly hot takes. Two guys at a bar talking are mostly hot take. It doesn't mean there's not value in the conversation for what we do for a living, even if it's preposterous and it doesn't work. I'm just asking people straight out, would you do that? Do you think that would be more beneficial to the Eagles than actually keeping A.J. Brown? That's the question. And we'll take some feedback on that. 610-632-0975 is how you climb into the show. It's the Mike Missanelli Show continues.
The NFL Draft is right around the corner. What will
Minarik was able to sneak that one in.
Wait, is it your birthday?
Yes.
Yo, it's Ray's birthday. Did you know that?
No.
So the
Birthday cake. Where's the cake?
the comeback just said Mike Missanelli, Bill Colarulo, and the not as young as yesterday, Ray Dunn.
Oh, the tip-off.
Yeah.
Why didn't you tell us it was your
Happy
birthday?
birthday, Ray. 25.
I'm not going to wander around here like, hey, buddy, look at me.
Let's celebrate his
It's my
birthday by going to Citi Field rooting on the Phils.
Yeah.
So you said it's your birthday. We
wonder
should be
why
playing
I
that
didn't
every
say.
time we come back, Ray.
Wonder why I did say it was my birthday.
Happy birthday, Raymond Dunn.
Hey, thanks, Bill.
Oh, you know what? I'm telling the wife. I'm going to Citi Field tonight.
Nah, you got the kids.
We're all
He's
going.
got the kids.
You're
He's got
busy.
the kids. He's got the mulch.
Yeah.
He's got it all.
So help me if I see you at Citi Field while your father-in-law is right now just working and working away.
Yo,
stunned
if I
by
tell
it.
him it's Ray Dunn's birthday, he'll understand.
I realize you're the only guy who get expensive mulch delivered right to your door
And separated into multiple
separated
cans.
into multiple cans and blanch at it. Well, I got. I tell him I got the landscaper can do. Yeah, you're an ingrate.
Listen, you don't have to beat me down on this. I'm a disgrace.
You are.
I know that I am.
Well, reform.
I know that I am.
Disgraces
I
can
just have
always
so
reform.
many other. I got so many other things to do.
What do you mean you got so many other things to do? You go home this afternoon, you dump a little mulch there, you spread it out. What are
I
you doing?
can't because my wife's got clients, so then I take the baby, and then unfortunately we got a viewing to go to tonight. There's a lot going on.
You know what I did this weekend? I power washed an area rug.
An area rug.
Yeah.
Why, you gonna dry it out in the outside?
I'm washing it. I get it all cleaned up and air drying it outside.
What the hell's on that rug? It needs to be power
Well,
washed.
it's-
What's going
it's-
on at
it's
Mike's house?
It's a rug at the shore house, so people trot on it and it gets a little dingy. You know, you got to wash it every now and then.
Do you own a power washer or do you rent it?
I own one.
Look at you.
I own two of them. I own a gas power washer for the shore. I own a electric power washer for the home projects. Nothing like a power washer. You got to have a power washer.
Where you keep all this
mold
stuff?
builds up.
In your garage or you have a
I
shed?
got a garage and I got a shed. The shed is smaller. It's a smaller shed though.
No, Ray, you don't have anywhere. Ray's a city guy, so he has none of this to worry about.
Yeah. If the news I just got the last hour is any indication, I'm going to have nowhere to store
Oh,
anything.
yeah, Ray may be getting evicted.
Okay.
No.
What a way.
Ray's
What
getting
happened?
evicted.
What's going on?
Hell of a headline there.
He came to me, he goes, do I have squatter's rights? I haven't paid my rent in 6 months. I'm only kidding, by the way. This is a lie. This is a complete
this is
lie.
not true. Please.
wait, what's the way? Are you having problems there with the rental?
Today we had the landlord came over to fix a few things, really just one thing, and he just suddenly dropped that he might be selling. So that was a nice text that I received in the last hour.
Now,
I got a situation like that, and I'm afraid to break somebody's heart.
wow, you're the landlord in this
I'm
situation?
the landlord. I'm the landlord. Now I got to get some cash in hand because I just made another purchase, as you know. So I've had this tenant in there for several years now. She's a great tenant.
But you may want to sell the
If
property.
I sell the property, she's out on her ear, and I don't want to do that to her.
Wait, how does that work now? I didn't do landlord-tenant law. If you have a lease that's not expired yet, if you have like 6 months left on your lease, don't you still get to honor the 6 months? Or does that get wiped away with the sale?
I think it gets wiped away with the sale. I would have to check on it, but I don't know.
I'm starting to sweat back here. Just this conversation already.
I know.
Well, you're old now,
it's
Ray.
hard, man. It's
Maybe it's time you've moved out anyway.
See, I used to live in
Why?
that place.
You're too old for roommates now. Now that today's your birthday.
Am I too old? Or do I have enough money to afford without roommate?
Wait, how old are you today, Ray?
25.
Wow.
25.
25.
You're insane. He's 24 for how many months?
25
The next age would be 25, Bill.
I know. I was playing it up so that the audience would hear it from you.
All right.
You know? It's all part of it.
Okay.
And I said I was going to come with you to Citi Field. People in the YouTube chat are saying Ray doesn't want Bill there.
That's not true.
Now, if I could actually make it happen, you wouldn't want me to come to Citi
No,
Field?
I would absolutely love you being
No, you wouldn't because you're with your homies.
No, I mean,
What would you
I,
want him hanging around for?
I would love him to come up to Citi Field. I just want you to know that we did check in the section. All of the seats are sold out, so you shouldn't look at 137. And to be careful, maybe go to like 200. On the right
So you
field
wouldn't
side.
be able to sit
So
with
he'd
him.
want me to come and sit on the complete opposite side of the
yeah,
the
you wouldn't be
stadium.
able to sit with him. His seats are all sold out.
Well, he also knows I can't come, so that's
Yeah, so how you getting up there? You driving?
Driving.
You're driving up there, huh?
Yeah.
and coming right back tonight.
It's a tough drive, man.
Yeah, my brother's doing the drive home, so I appreciate him for doing
Oh, is
that.
he?
I'm doing the drive up.
Yeah, you're gonna be
Hey,
right in the
your
middle of
brother
rush hour too.
Is the brother taking you there? Is he everything on your brother tonight?
No,
Because of your birthday?
I would not do that to him.
What, does he get anything for you for your birthday?
He did.
He did?
Yeah, he got me a gift card to a bar I like, and actually, my sister got me this nice map of all the ballparks that I can start marking off all the ballparks I've been.
Is that your goal, to go to all the ballparks?
I'd like to. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
a really cool one. How many you been to now? You up over 10?
I think this might be 10.
What a life.
Yeah.
You can't do that, Bill, because you got the baby.
No, he's got the kids.
Yeah, we got it tough.
Got the kids. Makes sense. Hey, listen,
you know
though,
you should rent
if
it
you
then.
could make it to Citi Field, you're more than welcome to.
How about Red? But Bill, would you ever have like something like rent an RV and tour with the family, go to all the parks?
So this is
You're
funny.
not
you
a
bring this
baseball
up.
man, so no.
This is funny you brought this up. I've
Huh?
been telling my wife that's like something I really want to do is to get the RV and drive around. And then we were talking about different things we could go to, and one of them was a couple of baseball parks I'd like to go to. But she thinks that I'm like romanticizing how nice of a trip it would be in the RV that I would probably kill somebody. Being stuck in an RV with 3 kids.
I could give you at least a little bit of an idea. My parents are doing the Sprinter van, go down to see my sister in a couple weeks. So I'll let you know what that at least goes like for them.
You're a family truckster, Bill.
I think it would be fun. But maybe I am romanticizing this, like driving around. Kids will probably be losing their minds.
Well, not if you stop often for ice cream. Then you'd be good. 610-632-0975. I'm assuming we have some text reaction on a trade of A.J. Brown for Abdul Carter. And I'm curious to know what side of the fence people are on. We'll get to that after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies dropped the series finale. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies took 2 of 3 over the weekend from the Marlins, but dropped Sunday's game 7-5 in 10 innings to Miami. Orion Kirk ran out a 3-run home run to surrender the lead in the 8th, and the Phillies offense squandered a chance to win the game in the 9th with 2 on and 1 out. The bullpen struggles weren't just on Sunday. They happened throughout the weekend. Jordan Romano with a 6-run 9th inning. Rob Thompson speaking about that bullpen postgame.
Again, it's just part of the season, and I think that'll even itself out over time. But we played so many close games there for a long period of time that, yeah, we did lean on them. But they're a pretty resilient group.
Phillies will now turn their attention to the NL East leading New York Mets up in Citi Field. Aaron Nola and Tyler McGill match up on the mound at 7:10, first pitch tonight. It's the week of the NFL Draft, and the Eagles hold the 32nd pick in the draft. We'll continue to break down everything they could do with that pick throughout the week. Both the NBA and NHL playoffs are underway. Yesterday, top seed in the West for the NBA, the Thunder won by 51 points over the Grizzlies, the 5th largest margin of victory in NBA playoff history. This update is brought to you by Erie Insurance. Celebrate 100 years of protecting your family's most priceless moments. Then, now, always Erie Insurance. ErieInsurance.com. That's ErieInsurance.com. I'm Ray Dunn, and you're home for the best 2025 Birds draft coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
610-632-0975. All right, Ray, what is the text board saying about the possible trade? It's not a possible trade.
Yeah.
It's a fictional argument, basically. But it's fun to talk about.
Ron in Salem. Hell no, I wouldn't do that trade. Part of the reason that your offensive run game is so great, besides Barkley, the offensive line, is because people fear A.J. Brown as well. That's what makes your offense so dynamic, regardless if they're 29th in pass offense.
You've got to be kidding me. You've got to be kidding. I knew people were going to get provincial on this. This guy is going to be a star of stars as a rushing outside end for years to come. He's going to wreak mayhem on this league. And you wouldn't do that trade because you love AJ? Come on now.
Hold on now. I agree. I agree with you that Abdul Carter is going to be a stud, but there's no guarantee of anything in the NFL when you're coming from college to the pros. Like you look at Clowney. As good as Clowney was, he never lived up to the expectations.
Micah Parsons?
Michael Parsons, people thought he was getting drafted as a true off-ball linebacker, not as a pass rusher.
Okay, so what did he turn into? Because he was ferocious. He was unblockable. This is the same way with this guy. This guy might even be better than Parsons.
I agree. There is the potential that Abdul Carter's a stud. More likely than not, he will be, but there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee.
Well, of course, there's no guarantee. There's no guarantee A.J. Brown's going to have a great year next year. All right, Ray, what else you got?
All right, why would you trade a guy that is top 3 player in the league at his position for a guy I hope would be a top 3 player at his position?
gosh.
I know AJ is really
You
good.
people
I would have
are
to
so short-sighted and provincial about this. It's ridiculous. It really is. Go ahead, keep going.
Can't do it. One is how they pan out. 2, I trust Vic more than new offensive coordinator. Then factor in the offense has a lot of predication on those outside guys winning one-on-ones. That's what made the offense stale. You take away one of the best one-on-one guys in the NFL.
I'm ashamed. I'm ashamed of our audience. I really am. I'm ashamed of them. That you can't see the forest through the trees here. You've got to be kidding me. It's not even a consideration.
The problem is, though, that what I think a lot of fans would have a hard time wrapping their head around is how many years did we beg to get weapons on offense? And now you finally have them, and you got the best wide receiver maybe in franchise history. I mean, he already has the number 1, number 2 best seasons in franchise history.
You can always get another weapon wide receiver through the draft. You can always do that.
What do you mean
You can't always get the most dominant pass rusher.
Jalen Reagor? J.J. Arcega-Whiteside?
No. I'm talking about other teams. Other teams seem to get them. Justin Jefferson, you want to go through? Jamar Chase?
I know, but there's also the misses. Like Howie's had misses. Look, Howie got Devontae
He had
Smith in the draft.
second-round misses, not first-round misses. Oh, he had one first-round miss.
Justin Jefferson was first round, taken right after Jalen Reagor.
Reagor was a miss.
Yeah, J.J. was
He
the
just
second round.
took the wrong guy. That's all.
Happens a lot.
Oh, come on, Bill. Now you know you would do the deal, and now you're trying to bust my onion.
Here's why. See, here's what makes it hard. One, it is a fairy tale idea because it can't happen.
I know we get serious journalists like Les Bowen. It's ridiculous. It's a hot take.
Yeah, a lot of people.
Come on, we know it's a hot take. Let's relax. Loosen your belt a little bit.
But here's where I have a hard time. The only reason I would do it is if it drastically helped you with the cap situation. So it's hard for me to ignore that it's not possible.
Stop qualifying it, Bill. We're playing a game here, straight up. We're playing it straight up. Abdul Carter for A.J. Brown. You're telling me you would do it. So now you're backtracking?
There's just not a guarantee that Abdul Carter results in being.
This is such a pander to the audience.
It's not. It's just
you're
that.
talking about Bryce Harper. Bill, you are pandering beyond belief now.
That's definitely me.
The first 3 on the text board, I would never do it. So Bill's going, I need to be popular with those people.
No, what I am saying is, for me, the reason that I would do it is the salary cap situation, but it's hard to make that argument when we're ignoring the salary cap because it's not possible. Do you understand? Like, you're just saying straight up as a player.
As a fictional argument, you're on the street with your buddy. Would you trade A.J. Brown for Abdul Carter? That's it. With no cap, none of that. It's just a conversation. Like, all sports conversations are... Like, sometimes they're preposterous and they can't happen, but it does not make them less interesting. Would you do it?
I probably would. But again, the reason I would probably do it is contractually based as well.
Oh, my God. Forget about it. All your little caveats. Stop it. Talent for talent we're talking about.
Well, this is why I have the reservations.
Stop it. You're killing me. About talent for talent. Fictional conversation. Would you do it?
I don't know because I haven't seen Carter at the pro level.
Oh, my God.
That's what I'm saying.
Can you project stardom from a guy?
You can, but it's still hit or miss. I don't know. If I'm leaning one way, I would probably say yes, I would do it in the fairy tale world.
All right. What else on the text board, Ray?
We got from the guy that gave us, the unnamed texter that gave us shave him, then wave him. Upset with you, Mike, on this one.
They're upset with me.
Mikey Miss calling us provincial for not wanting a Penn State guy is rich.
It's not. It has nothing to do with the fact that he's a Penn State guy. People, the draft analysts are going, he's the best player in the draft. They should take him number one overall. Like, he's that type of player. Like, I'm not going to ignore all the valuations, whether he played at Penn State or University of Penn. The guy is the guy.
Yeah, but it helps that he's a Penn State guy.
No, it doesn't. I couldn't care less that he's a Penn State guy. I think the guy is going to be the next pass rushing beast in this league. And that position is more important than a wide receiver. Any way you slice it.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there. But Penn State helps.
Have you seen the Eagles' record when both Hurts and A.J. Brown are on the field? No chance I'm trading a superstar wide receiver for an unproven college player just coming off a major injury. Not even a good barroom debate. It's ridiculous.
You gotta be kidding me.
Dominic.
First of all, it's not a major injury. It was a stress reaction. It's not a major injury.
No, he'll be okay.
Come on, man.
He'll be
all
okay.
right, listen, I understand you. You're all provincial. AJ is a popular player. I get it. It's foolish to suggest that you wouldn't trade A.J. Brown for an Abdul Carter. Foolish.
Well, yeah.
And you know who's going to get him? And it's going to see it in your face now every week?
The Giants.
That's right. The New York Giants.
Yeah, they'll probably draft him. Which then also makes this entire conversation even more of a fairy tale because he's not making it to fourth. So not only do we have the salary cap, you also have the fact that he probably doesn't fall to the Patriots at four anyway.
Why do you have to take the fun out of this conversation?
Because I don't think it's fun.
You have to take the fun out of this conversation. For what reason?
I just think it's such a ridiculous fairy tale. It's not even a hot take. It's just let me throw something at the wall and see if I can get this to be conversational.
Come on, Muscles Marinara. Play along.
It's the same thing that another station did last year. Would you trade A.J. Brown for Patrick Surtain II? It's like, why do you make
have
stuff
a problem with the people that made it up? I'm just looking at it as a general A-B conversation between two people at a bar. Hey, let me ask you a question. Would you trade Mike Trout right now?
Is that you smoking a cigarette?
For,
are you pretending to smoke a cigarette?
No, I got a glass of beer.
Oh.
I got a glass of beer. You know how you sit there with the draft?
There we go.
A glass of beer that it has no head on it.
All right, so we're sitting at the bar. Hey, Mike.
Yeah. Hey, I was thinking about this the other day. Would you trade Mike Trout for Bryce Harper?
That's an easy one, no.
Okay. There you go. It's just a conversation like that.
Easy.
That's all it is. You know, how many conversations have you had like that in your life about sports? That's all it is. You don't have to get your panties in a bunch that it's not going to happen, that logistically it's impossible. It's just a conversation. It's a fun conversation.
Here's why I think, though, some fans get frustrated. It's always AJ. It's always AJ.
Because he's a good player. You have to match up a good player to get a good player.
Yeah, but here's what I think bothers some fans about it. It's not just this fun barroom conversation. It's coming on the heels of everyone calling him not everyone, but people have called him a diva over the years.
Yeah,
people were critical of him this past season with the book situation. It smells a little bit of there's hidden agendas behind it.
Never hidden from the fact that never hidden from the diva persona. He doesn't hide from that. He does some things that would indicate that he is a diva. He is what he is. It doesn't mean he's not a valuable player. It doesn't mean that the fan base doesn't love him. But come on, what are we talking about here?
I don't think he's a diva. I mean, look, every wide receiver is a little bit of a diva. Every wide receiver is a little bit of a diva. But I think he's liked in that building.
Do you see the attempt that he is making today at bonding with the people, Bill?
Yeah, because
You see this blatant attempt for him to make me the bad guy and him to bond with the people.
I have never, ever. I've never
see
tried
the
to pander
that Bryce Harper Colarulo is doing here
with the takes that I've had since we started the show. I always am honest in my opinion.
Such a panderer today. It's not even funny. You might as well wear a Fanatic headband.
No, I will be honest with you. When I saw this being discussed on Friday, I just thought it was an absolutely ridiculous conversation.
It's not a ridiculous conversation. Nothing in sports talk radio is a ridiculous conversation. Nothing. Whether it's going to happen or not, it's just conversation. That's what you should learn about sports talk radio. Baseball Billy.
No, it's Billy Baseball.
Football Billy, right. Whatever you are.
It's Billy Baseball.
Pandering bastard. 610-632-0975. Back after this. As you know, I was at Augusta last week, and I played golf there at the Augusta University golf course, where Patrick Reed won 2 national championships, apparently.
Tough course?
Yeah. It's a nice course, though. It was a lot of fun to play. However, that's not my point. I think it's a semi-private, so some you can get on it, I believe, in public. So I got to tell you a story. You evaluate this here. I call 2 violations. There was a foursome that played in front of us. Younger guys. They decided that they needed to play from the tips. You know those guys, those macho guys? Let's play from the tips.
Yep.
And what happens when you play from the tips? You hold up the people behind you.
Not if you're good.
Yeah, but they weren't good enough to play from the tips.
All right, then that's a violation.
In addition to that, a member of the foursome playing from the, quote, tips wore a fish T-shirt. The guy had a T-shirt on with a pocket, and it had a fish on it, a jumping fish.
No collar?
No collar. Now,
They allowed him on the course?
How he got on is beyond me, but my assumption is he wore a collar to tee off and then put the T-shirt on as he was on the course.
It's possible. Now, that's a bigger... if they're... One, if you respect the game of golf, you don't do that. You abide by the dress code. We've talked about this before.
A T-shirt with a fish on the pocket.
But this was for the band fish?
No, it was an outdoorsman fish.
Oh, I thought you were talking about it was the band
No, it was
fish.
just an outdoorsman fish, an actual fish, like jumping.
Yeah, I don't get that then at all. I don't know. It's a violation. And if they weren't good enough to play from the tips, then they shouldn't be playing from the tips.
Of course they shouldn't be playing from the tips. Nobody should be playing from the tips unless you're like a 0 or a 2 or a 4.
Single digit.
Right.
Yeah, if you're a single digit
But even
handicap.
high single digits, you shouldn't play from the tips.
Yeah, I mean, I've actually played from the tips.
Oh, of course. Macho Bill
No, it was
had
because
to play from the tips.
It was because the guys I was with were really good, and they wanted to play from there.
And how'd you feel about playing from the tips? It's not fun.
It's not fun. But for me, I mean, it's more about short game, so it doesn't matter as much. But, yeah,
okay, Bill,
if it's up to me, I'm not playing.
You notice there, Bill is suggesting that he hits drives like Rory.
No, I don't hit far. That's not what I meant.
That's what he's suggesting.
I meant that even if I was playing from the junior tees, I'm still going to struggle when it gets close to the green. That's what I
would
meant.
love to have a contest with you and Ricky Bowe, both of whom classify yourself as big hitters.
No, Ricky Bowe does bomb the ball. I don't. I should hit the ball farther.
Ricky Bowe, since you're Mr.
Well,
Muscle.
we're going to make it happen.
Your muscles marinara.
I owe you a round, so we're going to go over to the Legacy Club, where our draft special is Thursday night. But we're going to go there. Me, you. I'll get Ricky out.
I don't play inferior courses.
Please. You would struggle. It's a William Flynn.
I don't play munis.
It's a William Flynn.
Oh, really? Is it a Billy Flynn?
Correct. You would struggle.
He designed Rolling Green over here.
Yeah. I think Woodcrest at Legacy Club is a very tough course.
Is it really?
Yeah. I'll look at I bet you it's got a tougher rating than yours.
I don't think so.
We'll have to look up the slopes here.
I doubt that very much.
We'll find out.
Yeah. Pros played at my course. Pros.
We're going to look at pros.
It's a pro tournament. Yeah, for many years. All right.
I'm a big fan of White Marsh.
Pros playing at Woodcrest.
I'm a big fan of White Marsh.
Could we, for one day, and maybe this is too much to ask for, just do 4 hours where it's the two of you golfing against one another?
No. We did this already. I took Bill to my course.
Yeah, we only played 9, though.
No, live broadcasts.
Hold on. So Legacy Club has a slope of 138. What's the slope at White Marsh?
You're comparing apples and
White Marsh in Lafayette Hill?
Yeah.
So from
Bill, you're wasting your time.
Is the white tees the tees?
Yeah.
Yeah, slope of 131.
Yeah.
I told you.
You're wasting your time.
No, 135.
You played on that course. You saw how much more difficult it was than yours.
Woodcrest is a tough course. I am telling you, it's got a tougher rating than White Marsh does.
It doesn't. All right. We have a call? Yeah, we have who do we have? Mount Laurel?
I think it's Gabby's brother.
Grant? Oh, yeah, we have Grant and Mount Laurel checking
Gabby's brother who's answering the phones.
in. Is that who it is?
She just told me it's my
All
brother-in-law.
right, Grant checking in. What's up, Grant?
Hey guys, how we doing?
Good. Did Gabby answer your call?
Yeah, something like that. She told me I should join in and start talking crap about Jordan. Enjoy that.
Yeah, you just faded out there. Who were you going to talk crap about?
Jordan Romano.
Oh, Jordan Romano.
Jordan Romano.
Jordan Romano, yes. All right, so you want to talk crap about him? Go ahead.
Yeah, so I understand having a bad pitcher, all that stuff, but how are you going to give up almost 7 runs in the 9th and still have to get pulled just so we can win that game? It's the Marlins. Come on.
Yeah.
How are we going to go be 11-4 and come back 6 runs? That's ridiculous.
Well, it is, but, they're trying to get him right, so he pitched in that situation. He gave it up. 6 hits.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, they had enough of a cushion
tough.
where they didn't want to use another pitcher. Finally, they did.
Yeah.
Took 2 pitches to get out of it.
So, how are we feeling about the bullpen this season overall?
Well, if you've been listening to this show, you know that I have been wary of the bullpen from day one.
Oh, I know. Who do we think we're
Well,
gonna
what's your
trade
solution?
for?
What's your solution, Grant? What's your solution, buddy?
My solution?
Yes.
I think we should tenure what's his name? Put him down the minors. I think we should pick up that dude off of the Cardinals for a closer. I really like that we have Alvarado pitching the way he should be this season.
You talking about Halsey?
Taijuan.
You talking about Halsey from the Cardinals?
Yeah, Halsey.
Yeah. What do you think it would take to get
I
him?
like him quite a lot.
Yeah. What it would
The
take?
amount of money they're asking for him is the question.
Well, you got to trade players for him. So, who would you trade for him?
Oh yeah. That is the end of the day question. What can we give up to give to them? And that I do not know.
You would have to give up one of your primo prospects for him.
Yeah, and I don't know if we have anything like that we are.
Well, you got
willing to give up.
2
I don't
primo
think we can
prospects in your minor leagues. You would have to give up one of them. Justin Crawford or the shortstop.
Aiden Miller.
Aiden Miller.
Yeah, that's tough because isn't Crawford doing amazing right now?
No, they're not doing amazing, but they're still their top prospects. Would you do that to get a closer? Would you have to trade one of your top? When you look at your bullpen, there is not help on the way. This is a bullpen that you're going to struggle with all year unless you fortify it.
Yeah.
And you can fortify it by getting a late inning guy like Halsey would be a definite spot as a closer unless you're going to match up with Alvarado, the 2 guys left-handed are coming up. That's what you have.
Yeah, I don't think I think Aiden Miller and Crawford would be untouchable. And I would throw Painter in there too, for a closer.
Let me ask you this, though. Are you going to win with this bullpen?
No, not as it looks right now.
If you know that they're not good enough right now with their bullpen to constitute it the way it is, and so would you trade one of your top prospects to get a closer?
The reason I'd be reluctant to do it is I'm not sure that they're just a closer away from being a guaranteed World Series champion. So you're going to mortgage your future and maybe still lose in the NLCS to the Dodgers.
Well, the other part is you don't have a chance unless you do that.
It's an interesting one, man. It's an interesting one. I just don't know.
You're afraid to commit today, Bill.
I am. I just don't know.
I don't know. What's going on with him, Ray? He's afraid to commit.
Well,
I don't know.
Well, I'm looking at it last year. You weren't willing to part ways with Crawford, Miller, or Painter last year when your team really needed something at the deadline.
But you were better than in the bullpen last year.
You were, but you needed a left fielder.
Well,
you could have brought in somebody maybe in center field.
The really important position is your relief scorer rather than left fielder. 610-632-0975 is how you get in. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies dropped the series finale. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies took 2 of 3 over the weekend from the Marlins, but dropped Sunday's game 7-5 in 10 innings. Ryan Kirkering allowed a 3-run home run in the 8th to surrender the lead, and the Phillies offense squared a chance to win it in the 9th. Bullpen struggles weren't just on Sunday, and Rob Thompson spoke postgame about the big picture for this bullpen.
Again, it's just part of the season, and I think that'll even itself out over time. But we played so many close games there for a long period of time that, yeah, we did lean on them, but they're a pretty resilient group.
Phillies now turn their attention to the NL East leading New York Mets up at Citi Field. Aaron Nola and Tyler McGill match up on the mound with 7:10 first pitch tonight. It's the week of the NFL Draft. The Eagles, of course, holding that 32nd pick of the draft. We'll continue to break down what they might be able to do with that throughout the week. And both the NBA and NHL playoffs are underway. Yesterday in the NBA, the West top seed, the Thunder, won by 51 points over the Grizzlies, the 5th largest margin of victory in NBA playoff history. This update is brought to you by Macy's Backstage. What we find at Macy's Backstage, how about fun Mother's Day gifts? Get low prices every day on unique finds before they're gone. Find a location near you at Macy'sBackstage.com. Off price, on trend, arriving daily. I'm Ray Dunn, the home of the 76ers and the Flyers. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
97.5
Missanelli Show coming up in just 5 minutes. So stay tuned for the news at noon. And the Fanatic signing bonus where you can win $1,000. We'll do it again at 12 o'clock. So it's all cool. It could be a keyword. Guess what would the keyword would be.
What was it this morning?
I'm guessing the keyword today is panderer. As in, Bill has been a panderer today. No, that's not the keyword. Don't put panderer
Don't put panderer in.
It's a simpler word.
Fairy tale. Oh, that's 2 words. Since
Fairy
Mike
tale.
wants to go down the fairy tale road today.
Mike is just having a entertaining conversation about whether people would actually do something like this without regard to all the logistics and the Les Bowen skepticism. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So without any analysis.
Well, of course, because sometimes barroom arguments and barroom conversations about sports don't have any analysis.
So I think it would be more realistic to think, well, no, nothing's realistic. Because I can't get past the salary cap, and I have to factor it in.
Would you put a lampshade on your head or something?
Because
Jesus, God, you don't have to be serious 100% of the time.
But I can't wait. What lampshade on my head? What's that do?
It's like a party, the goof that puts the lampshade on his head and parades around. He loses all his inhibitions. That's what I'm asking.
What kind of party did you go into? You ever have a guy put a lampshade on his head at a party?
It's an old adage. It's an old thing. Relax.
Here's
it's a symbol of somebody who's just not caring.
All right, but hear me out.
Yeah.
The reason I have a hard time ignoring the salary cap ramifications and of making it impossible is because the only reason I would do it would be based off of the salary cap ramifications. Like if it helped you and then you would get Abdul Carter on a 5-year rookie deal, a 5-year rookie contract to keep him affordable at a position where you're going to overpay at edge rusher. So you see what I mean? Like, ignore the salary cap, but that goes into my analysis. So simply from a player perspective, what you want to do, it's hard on an unknown like Abdul Carter. And someone made a great point on Twitter that tagged me. You're losing Dallas Goedert most likely. So now you're also going to lose AJ?
I understand it's unrealistic. Bill, today's keyword is fun. Jesus, God.
No fun here.
I'm like, relax. It's just a fun conversation.
No. I'm throwing cold water on everything
let's
today.
Go back to the text board because the text board is like, it's preposterous because my hero, A.J. Brown, we can't trade him for Abdul Carter, who's going to dominate the league for the next 6 years. Go ahead.
Well, we found someone that agreed with you.
No.
Andrew at Kennett
No,
Square.
you don't agree with me today. Come on.
Fully agree with Mike for one primary reason, Jalen Carter. It's almost a guarantee that Abdul Carter would be a stud on this line. 2 possible Hall of Famers on the line for 10-plus years, a no-brainer.
It would be unblockable.
All right. Here's the problem I have with that text, okay?
You love defense, too,
You
Bill.
can't anoint...
Vic Fangio, would you think he'd love Abdul Carter?
But you can't anoint a guy who's never played an NFL snap a Hall of Famer. He just called Abdul Carter a Hall of Famer.
Michael Parsons came into the league and everybody anointed him a Hall of Famer. How's it turning out?
Nobody anointed Michael Parsons as a
You got to
Hall
be
of Famer.
kidding me. Everybody thought Michael Parsons was the best player in that draft.
Would he fall to 11 that year?
Yeah, but everybody thought, oh, my God, how did he fall to 11? He could be the best player in the draft. People know. When it comes to these type of
Where
players.
Where did Michael Parsons get drafted? 12th!
Yeah, well, he got passed.
Who was anointing him?
Well, everybody was anointing him. If you look at Michael Parsons could be the best player in this draft.
Yeah, but nobody saw him as a pass rusher.
People are saying that about Abdul Carter, right? He could be the best player in this draft. Are they saying that?
Yeah. People also, I'm looking at Michael Parsons' draft year. Trevor Lawrence went 1 overall. A lot of people were saying he was going to be a stud. Kyle Pitts, 4th. Kyle Pitts hasn't really lived up to it. Not bad, but not the guy. You're not taking him 4th overall. Jalen Waddle was taken 6th overall. Not bad, but certainly not a Hall of Famer.
Some players are better coached than others and are more ready for the league than others. This guy happens to be.
Yeah, it's just because he's a Penn Stater.
No, he's also a LaSalle College high school guy.
JJ in our chat said it's because it's Penn State love from Mike.
It's not Penn State love at all. Nothing to do with Penn State love. If you ask any football guy, they'll go, man, that guy's going to be a terror in this league.
I'm sure he will be, but it's not a guarantee.
All right. You're listening to the Mike Missanelli Show. It's 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station. And we broadcast every day from the Comcast, except Saturday and Sunday. Every day, Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. It is 12 noon. Happy lunchtime to everybody on Easter Monday. It is now time for... Hit it, Ray.
The Fanatic signing bonus.
That's right. The Fanatic signing bonus is your chance to win $1,000. Today's contest keyword at 12 o'clock is gold. G-O-L-D. Gold, as in 97.5 The Fanatic is the gold sports station in town. You have 25 minutes until after the hour to enter it on the Fanatic mobile app or 975thefanatic.com, or you just text it to the special contest short code 45911. One random entry wins $1,000 in this company-wide contest. Each winner gets a call from Beasley. So be sure to answer your phone if Beasley pops up on the phone. Contest rules are on the website, 975thefanatic.com. The Fanatic signing bonus is brought to you by Live Casino and Hotel Philadelphia, voted best casino in PA by Casino Player Magazine. 5 chances to win each weekday, 8 and 10A, 12 noon, 3 and 5P. Good luck to you. And now, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is time for the news at noon.
There's a whole lot going on in this world. It's time to catch up. Here's the news at noon. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Ray Dunn bringing you the news at noon. I think we could start with a little NBA action today, Ray.
Yeah, we can. And I have an unhealthy obsession. It's the Mavericks. It's getting bad. I said I would be done with it last Friday, and then I saw this quote from Klay Thompson, and I just wanted to play it because I think he seems miserable, and it gives a nice look at where Dallas is right now. They get eliminated in the play-in.
Yeah.
Tough to see. Really hate to see.
Well, they won
season.
one game, didn't they?
Yeah. No, they made it to the 8 seed game, which is
right.
A successful season if you're like the Bulls.
Yeah.
Not the team that was in the NBA Finals last year.
Right.
But Klay Thompson was asked after the game if he regretted signing with Dallas. If he had known everything was going to happen, would he have made the same decision last summer?
Don't do this. Don't do that to me. Don't do that. That's kind of a ridiculous question because I don't own a time machine and I don't believe in going back, looking back. If I did that my whole career, I would not be where I'm at, and I wouldn't have been able to persevere through 2 really hard injuries. So I'm here in Dallas, and I enjoyed my time, and I'm looking forward to the future.
It's an A answer. Isn't that the A answer?
Yeah, I think he handled it well.
You ask a question like that. I get it. You want to maybe get an answer to that, but he has no upside to answering that question.
Yeah, no, I thought he actually handled it
You're
well.
going to say, yeah, I regret it, and then become public enemy number 1 in Dallas with the Mavs?
He does regret it.
Well,
I'm sure he regrets it.
Maybe he does. I don't know. Was there anybody else clamoring for him at that point?
Yeah, I guess not. I mean, when Klay hit free agency, I know there were some people who wanted him here. We were saying no, but we did get some of those calls and texts this summer. Go get Klay.
He signed with a team that had Luka and had a pretty good foundation. Sometimes things don't work out. Ray?
Yeah, I just
Your
heard
thoughts?
27 seconds of him saying,
your
yes,
thoughts?
I do regret it.
Yes, he does regret it?
Yeah.
You're saying? Yeah.
It was a nice way to not say what he feels, but don't do this to me. Don't do this to me.
Well, yeah, because it was an unfair question, I think. That's what he meant by that. But who wouldn't have regretted it the way it turned out? Is he abnormal? Who would not have said, well, yeah, you know what, things didn't work out?
Yeah,
Ray, since we're doing absurd hypothetical fairy tales, would you trade Nico Harrison for Joe Shane?
Nico Harrison for Joe? Ooh, I actually would. No, I would take Joe Shane over Nico.
As much as I hate Joe Shane, I think I may be with you.
Yeah, I think I would take Joe Shane over Nico. I thought you were going to go Daryl Morey.
Oh, Nico or Daryl Morey, Mike?
At this point,
look,
the Dallas Mavericks are a better team than the Sixers.
Well, and I at least, as crazy as it was, at least Nico did something outside the box.
I got to be honest with you. I think Daryl Morey has the balls to disappear back into his cave after one press conference. Really, this guy has no shame whatsoever.
Well, he told us they lost more games to injury of any other team.
Yeah, and he goes back into his cave.
He's spending every waking moment trying to make this situation better.
It's embarrassing that he won't face the music on one-on-one questions. Embarrassing. And the Sixer organization knows it.
Back to basketball teams that are playing for our second story here on News at Noon. Jalen Rose was trying to hype up this SGA job matchup, 1 versus 8. It was a tough Sunday slate to try and sell, but he did a great job of trying to sell it. It's just the result by the end was hilarious to listen back to this.
You and I both know Ja Morant is looking at SGA and saying, sort of like the movie Face Off, where there's an identity swap with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta. He's like, I remember when we were a top seed and I was MVP caliber and I was playing in all-star games and getting commercials. And now SGA's on the top seed and he's MVP and he's in the commercials. So I guarantee you what's going on in Ja's mind right now is I'm about to send a message not only to OKC, but to the league and to the world that I'm still that guy.
Message received, 51-point loss. Not still that guy.
Ja couldn't prevent the colossal 51-point loss.
He did outscore SGA in the game, 17-15.
He did. SGA took the night off, and they still won by 51. It's incredible.
Really is. How much of that game did you catch?
I caught a little. I can't. I cannot watch a game where there's a big lead. Somebody like 30 points. I'm out. That's just ridiculous.
Did you see Desmond Bain in that game? Was a minus 51. Is that even possible? A minus 51. I wonder if that's a record.
That's got to be a record.
Let me see. I'm going to look it up.
It's got to be a record, minus 51. It can't. There's nobody could be minus 51 because nobody loses by 51. Yeah. Who's ever lost by 51 in the NBA in history?
That Sixers lineup we talked about a few weeks ago. I think they lost by something like that.
Here we go.
That was a regular season game for
by 51, though, did they?
It was close.
What?
It was close. The record is from 2017. Oh, that's a plus. Hold on.
Plus 51?
There's a plus 50.
Yeah, that can't be nobody had minus 51. No way.
Oh, they're only giving me pluses. I want a minus.
All right. Well,
I'll keep looking it up. Doing research.
Here's story number 3.
All right, final one for you. We got broadcasting critique going on across the internet from the United Football League, which I know you guys have both been glued to. You've been watching so intently. Roy Philpott on the call as the Arlington Renegades intercept a pass at the goal line, take it back 100 yards for a score. This was a one-score game. If the team on offense had scored, it could have been tied. Instead, it's a pick six going the other way. This is how he reacted to the call.
It all comes down to this. 4th and goal. Intercepted. And the Renegades survive. It's Harris bringing it back the other way. Ajay going to take it to the house. And the over somehow hits on the pick six from 100 yards away.
Well, totally appropriate when it comes to the United Football League because I would think that would be a part of it. And it's so mainstream now, I don't know why it's not a part of every NFL broadcast. How about that?
But they're getting close. I mean, you get the ads the whole time.
The line is, this field goal will do why not? That's what everybody's interested in now with all the easy ways to bet online.
Yeah, I'm with you. Do you think they give them the announcers that you can't talk about that?
They probably do, right? Can't talk about it
because now you get in-game ads from FanDuel and parlays and
exactly.
Yeah, collegially, I've never been given any sort of
edict.
Yeah, instruction on that one. I would imagine they'd want me to stay away.
I gotta be honest with you. That's what everybody's thinking, anyways. If you're watching the football game from top to bottom. You're watching it because you got some money on it, and you consciously know what the spread is.
You just reminded me of something. Mm-hmm. Watching the Phillies broadcast this weekend, I had a bone to pick with the broadcast. They put up every game like the same game parlay, right, from FanDuel. Mm-hmm. And McCarthy reads it, and it was like Trey Turner to get 2 hits plus something.
Right.
And then it was Bryce Harper to get 2 hits plus something. Mm-hmm. And then it was Jesus Luzardo to get more than 5 strikeouts minus 700.
Right.
Why would you put the minus 700 with 2 things that if they happen, you're at a plus?
I don't know. It's a good question. Maybe for the guy
is my math off?
Made $1 million on the minus 700.
Yeah, but if
the
you're
shoebox bet.
If you're parlaying it, is my math off here? If you're parlaying it and 2 things that need to happen are pluses, why would you add a 3rd thing that if it happens is a minus?
That's going to take the odd down a little bit.
Yeah, but don't you want the odds higher? If you need all three things
I don't know.
am I off here?
I don't know if FanDuel wants the odds that high. They want to bring it down with a minus 700. All right, 610-632-0975. Phillies and Mets start a series tonight. We'll talk about it after this.
We want to hear from you, so text us at 610.
The Fanatic. Well, one of the stories that could have gone into the news at noon. Shannon Sharp is in a little bit of doo-doo here. Billy, you see this story?
I did see this morning.
Civil lawsuit on Easter Sunday. He was served with it. Filed in Nevada by a woman identified as Jane Doe. A 13-page complaint accuses Sharp of assault, sexual assault, battery, and sexual battery. It also alleges he intentionally inflicted emotional distress. $50 million lawsuit has been filed against Shannon Sharpe. I wonder how ESPN would handle this.
I think he was on the air this morning, so I don't think they've reacted yet. Now, my understanding is this was someone he was in a relationship with. That's accusing
a rocky domestic relationship over a couple of years. The lawsuit alleges 2 instances of sexual assault, one in October 2024 when the plaintiff tried to break things off with Sharpe, and another in January 2025 when she says he ignored her request to stop and refused to use protection during sex.
So I don't know. Has he made a statement yet in response? I haven't seen anything.
He has not made a statement in response. So she is represented by Tony Busby, the lawyer in Texas who represented all those victims of
Deshaun Watson.
Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. So we'll have to monitor that. But yeah, we'll have to see what ESPN does, if anything. Also, I need to correct something I said. The minus 700 on Luzardo did not hurt the odds of the parlay.
Okay.
So I just did the math on the FanDuel app. Because you're adding a third thing in, it does increase the odds. Not drastically, but it does increase the odds. So my apologies to FanDuel for putting that parlay.
The baseball things aren't as interesting as the point spreads.
Yeah.
And that's why I believe when you have a point spread, you should be discussing it. Like when it's funny, all the shows, they pick teams straight up in football. Like, no, who does that anymore? Who picks straight up, like without the points? Like,
I know.
Who are you fooling?
I know.
Like any idiot can pick a winner,
and then they put their records up.
Right. They
like, we're 31-4 this year. It's like, it's easy when you're picking
point spread. Introduce this point spread. Betting has now become mainstream. I understand there are people that have gambling problems, and if so, you should call 1-800-GAMBLER. But the bottom line is, you should be discussing these games. All right, the Bengals are favored by 5 over the Cleveland Browns in this game. How you feel about them covering the spread? That's more interesting.
Yeah. Do you remember when it was the worst kept secret that there was gambling on sports? That was fun.
Meanwhile, the league always didn't prohibit the publishing of the lines.
And the injury report.
Yeah, the injury report.
Right? Injury report's a big reason why you...
Yeah, of course.
Because of gambling.
Back to the text board we go, right? What are the people saying about AJ?
Bill is on the fence with this one. Bill is so deep on the fence on this one. Bill Pander Bear Colorulo.
Oh, Pander Bear. Oh, pandering today. He is.
Yeah.
I find it ironic how he blasted Bryce Harper for his pandering, and yet is pandering now to the audience. Eagle fans who are in love with A.J. Brown.
Yeah, I just want to I want to try to understand this. So, because I'm having a hard time eliminating all of the other factors that would go into play with a trade of A.J. Brown for Abdul Carter, I'm a panderer.
Here's the thing that you stubbornly don't listen to me when I say, forget about the ramifications. This is just a straight up fun conversation, and you cloud it with nonsense. Like I know it can't happen. I know what the ramifications are. This is a fun conversation.
But here's what you're not listening to me on. The reason that I would do it would only be because of you could get Abdul Carter on a 5-year rookie contract where the salary cap hits are less than what you're getting on the A.J. Brown. So that would be my reasoning, but we can't use the salary cap because it makes the trade impossible. Like, if you're just talking straight up, if A.J. Brown was 22 years old and Abdul Carter was 22 years old and you've never seen either one of them play at the NFL level and you're rolling the dice on them, yeah, I'm going Abdul Carter. But we know what A.J. Brown can do. You don't know what Abdul Carter can do. And the only reason I would do it would be salary cap issues to free up space. But that doesn't work.
How many more years is A.J. Brown going to be at the top of his profession?
How old's A.J. now? He's 28? He's 28 years old. I mean, and he's under contract with the Birds through 2029. I could see him having another 3 or 4 years of being really good. 31 maybe, 32 is not out of the stretch of possibility.
3 more big years, as opposed to probably the next 7 years that Abdul Carter is the dominant defensive end in the league. Let me ask you this. Who's the best pitcher in baseball?
Ray's boy.
Who?
Livy Dunn's boy.
Oh, Skeens.
Yeah.
Would you trade Bryce Harper for Paul Skeens?
Oh, that's a tough one, Ray.
See, these are the type of things that probably are unrealistic, but they're just fun to talk about. Like you're sitting there, you're having a couple drafts, Ray. You're having a big draft with Ray, a 20-ouncer.
Is there a picture posted on Twitter that says AMA?
Definitely not with you.
You would post the pic. He would not post a picture with you. All right, so Harper for Skeens, would you do it?
No.
You wouldn't do it.
No. I need the pandering in the city.
See? That's what now. How many people would trade Harper for Skeens? Would you, Ray?
Yeah.
I think.
You see, this is the point.
I think if you're giving everybody
fun.
truth serum, they would do it.
It's fun to talk about stuff like this. It doesn't mean it's brain surgery, that it's unrealistic. It's just fun.
Here's what you're doing it now as a hypothetical fun, and I get it. But that's not how it was posed on Friday, circulating social media. It was reported as, when you heard the Boston radio station, a little birdie in my ear. It was reported like it was a real report.
It wasn't probably a real birdie, so it was just a manufactured conversation. Who cares? Who cares whether it was manufactured or not? It's just a hypothetical, fun conversation.
Well, here's what bothers me. It's manufactured conversation when there's real conversations to be had.
Stop it.
There's real issues,
how many times
real
do we
questions.
do real conversations every day?
The draft's 4 days away.
Would you trade Michkov for Connor McDavid?
Oh, man. I was going to say get Michkov out of your mouth.
Would you trade Michkov for Connor McDavid?
I love Connor McDavid.
There you go. See what I'm talking about? It's fun, Bill. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies dropped the series finale. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. The Phillies took 2 of 3 over the weekend from the Marlins, but dropped Sunday's game 7-5 to Miami in 10 innings. Ryan Kirkgreen led a 3-run homer in the 8th to surrender the lead, and the Phillies offense acquired a chance to win it in the 9th. Bullpen struggles weren't just for Sunday's game, also struggled on Saturday. Rob Thompson addressing that bullpen postgame.
Again, it's just part of the season, and I think that'll even itself out over time. But we played so many close games there for a long period of time that, we did lean on them, but they're a pretty resilient group.
Phillies now turn their attention to the NL East leading New York Mets up at Citi Field. Aaron Nola, Tyler McGill matching up on the mound. First pitch tonight, 7:10. It's the week of the NFL Draft. The Eagles hold that 32nd pick on Thursday night of the first round. Draft take you through the weekend. We'll be reacting to it right here on 97.5 The Fanatic. Both the NBA and the NHL playoffs are underway. Yesterday, the West top seed in the NBA, the Thunder, won by 51 points over the Grizzlies, 5th largest margin of victory in NBA playoff history. This update is brought to you by Rapid Radios. Rapid Radios instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage for a limited time. Go to rapidradios.com now for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code radio. You get an extra 5% off. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best 2025 Birds draft coverage. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
A lot this weekend. I saw it. A lot of Easter-like movies resurface on Easter. Do you notice that? Do you watch any of them? The Ten Commandments and stuff like that, and the
Passion of the Christ,
the Jesus of Nazareth.
I have not.
I watch those. I watch those all the time.
You watch them all the time.
Well, at Easter,
just like
at Easter time, just to refresh my, the biblical stories and all that.
Yeah, I didn't do
Jesus
anything.
Going here and going there.
Yeah, I didn't watch any of them this weekend.
Yeah.
Did you watch? Have you seen the most recent one? Would have been the Passion of the Christ, right? Was there any more recent?
I never saw the Passion of the Christ.
I told you I was a religion minor in college, so it came out when I was in college. So we went as a class to the movie theater to see the movie when I was there. So I haven't seen it since then.
I believe the Passion of the Christ was filmed where my Missanelli relatives are from. In this rocky terrain called the province is Potenza. The region is Matera.
Oh, was it?
And it's by the ankle of the country, near where the ankle would be.
Did you say Matera?
Matera.
Yeah, I just looked it up. It was.
Yeah.
Good call by
you.
you.
So there you go. The Missanellos were probably out watching the filming.
Maybe they were.
12 o'clock hour is brought to you by Service First HVAC, offering 0% financing for 48 months, rebates and tax credits up to $4,300 when purchasing a heating and cooling system. Learn more at ServiceFirstHVAC.com.
So I do have a bone to pick with you, though, Mike.
Me?
Yeah. Because we've been on the air now for 2.5 hours, and you refuse to give Johan Rojas any credit for the weekend that he had.
He had 3 hits.
I think you're being a hater, man.
He had 2 hits and a
He was 6 for 12 in that series.
He had a good series.
He's hitting 344, Mike.
Yeah, we'll see.
Is it time that you're going to come around and say that this guy may be a Major League Baseball player?
No.
All right, end the conversation, Ray. Ray, do you think that the Rojas has a shot at being your everyday center fielder?
He had a nice weekend against the Marlins. Right now, he has to be because you don't have any other options.
Look, I am not saying I'm sold on Johan Rojas, but he had a very good weekend. And you, I think, Mike, are borderlining on hater.
I think what you do is you pick a guy I don't like, and you try to tweak me with it, because there's no possible way you think Rojas is a starting center fielder in this league. There's no way. But because you do bill yourself now as Baseball Billy.
Billy Baseball. You got to get it right.
Billy Baseball. So, yeah, you're just doing this to...
Look, I'll be honest with you. I'm not sold on Rojas.
The longer he plays, the more warts you'll see.
Yeah, I am not sold on Rojas either, but I do think he's got to keep playing. Because you got to give him a chance. One, there's no other option. Agreed. But I think you got to give him a chance when he's swinging the bat the way he is. He's getting on base. He's making things happen.
Give him a chance in what form? He's the only guy that can play there.
And I would keep him out there.
Well, the other guy's inactive.
See, here
of course you're going to keep him out there. There's no other guy that can play center field.
I know you have issues with him at the plate. It's understandable. But what
he did hit the ball to right field when? Was it Sunday?
One of the games. They're all blending together now. But, yeah, one of the games he had a nice hit to right. And what he does on the base pass, man. Did you see when he almost caught Alec Boehm on that home? I mean,
see when he foolishly tried to steal third?
That was a stupid play. With 2 outs, right?
He does that all the time.
Yeah, it was 2 outs. You don't get thrown out at third trying to steal with 2 outs. Even, Billy Baseball knows that. But I just wanted you to give him some credit. He had a good weekend.
He did.
You don't like it.
He had a good weekend.
And you know what I didn't see is any of his big plays. I did not see him watching it in the
against that
dugout.
Marlins team. It's hard to look at and go, hey, he had a really good weekend, because that team is just so dreadful. I don't understand why that franchise exists. I really do not. Nobody goes to see him. It's a terrible team. They keep turning it over. There was not one guy that I believe played this weekend for the Marlins who was actually in their system. Every starter had been acquired from other teams.
Yeah, I don't understand it either. I'm looking at their numbers from last year. They averaged 13,000 fans a game, which is actually higher than I thought it would even be.
Yeah.
They should move that franchise. There's no reason for them to be down there in Miami. No one cares.
Move them to Nashville. and have Dave Dombrowski be the GM like he was supposed to be in the first place.
Is Nashville trying to get a baseball team?
Yeah, that's why Dave Dombrowski was hired. He was fronting that whole situation. The Phillies hired him away from that situation.
Oh, that's right. Wait, where would they?
He was supposed to be the lobbyist to get the baseball team in Nashville.
Now, are they going to move a team there, or are they trying to expand to more than 30 teams?
I don't know. It's dead now. It's a dead issue.
Yeah, but Miami should move. No one cares. Even when they're good, no one cares.
The team is just so... I have to laugh. I really do. I like, who would go to see that team? Like, what would make you go to the ballpark to see that dreadful team? They're going to lose 100 games.
Yeah, they're going to
guaranteed they lose 100 games, that team.
Yeah, they're going to stink. Well, that's why you got to, as we look forward to this Mets series, that's why you got to take what they've done with a little bit of a grain of salt, too. They've played 6 of their games against the Marlins.
Yeah,
and the Marlins are terrible.
Yeah, and the Mets have a good record, and they have a good team. So let's compare what we have with the Mets team. Are the Mets actually better than the Phillies here? Bill, can you venture an opinion on whether the Mets right now, they're 2 games ahead of the Phillies, are they better than the Phillies?
On paper, the only advantage I would give the Mets would be their bullpen. Because on paper, it's not even close. I mean, their bullpen is 3rd best in Major League Baseball right now in terms of ERA, where the Phillies are 29th, only in front of the Washington Nationals. But, I mean, you look at the lineup, you look at the starting rotation's not even close.
Let's look at the lineup, and let's look at the overall pitching staff that the Mets and the Phillies have. All right, so the Mets have a pretty formidable lineup.
They do.
Right? There's no question about it. So let's look at how they stack up here. Let me just get who they had in there on Sunday. Righty, hold on one second. Here we go. They beat the Cardinals 3-0, and Senga, who's been lights out for them, started the shutout, and it was finished by 3 relief pitchers as he went 5 2/3. So their lineup: Lindor. All right, so Lindor against Turner.
I would take Lindor. I love him, man.
Soto over Castellanos.
Yeah, you're taking Soto.
Alonso and Harper.
Nah, you're taking Bryce.
Pete Alonso's hitting 356 right now with an on-base percentage of 467 and a slug of 753, Bill.
Yeah, I'm looking at his numbers against Nola, too. He's hit 5 dingers off him. He's hitting 320.
Pretty good numbers by the polar bear.
But you're still taking Bryce.
Mark Vientos, the 3rd baseman, versus Alec Boehm. Vientos had a great year last year, a better year than Boehm, but this year he struggled.
Boehm's coming on, but I don't know.
You
For
take
me, it's probably
Vientos or Boehm? Who would you take?
I know this is going to sound like I'm just hating on Boehm. I probably would lean towards Vientos.
Oh, that's 3-1 so far. All right. Sterling Marte as the DH and Schwarber.
Schwarbs, man.
Of course. 3-2. Nimmo in left field over Kepler.
Ray, you hate Nimmo, right?
Don't hate him enough to lie.
Yeah, but you can't stand. If I remember correctly, you can't stand him, right?
But you would take him over the left field situation.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you definitely.
4-2 Mets. The catcher JT wins even if Alvarez is in there. So that's 4-3 on the lineup. At second base, Stott over Acuna.
I like Stott. I'm going Stott.
All right, that's fair. That's 4-4. And we get to the last position. Who plays center field for them? Azokar and Tyrone Taylor. You got to give the Phillies the advantage there. I don't know. Is that
going Rojas?
That's a wash. It's 4-4 with a wash.
It's 4-4 with a wash, but I think in the areas that the Phillies are better, starting pitching, it's drastically better.
Not drastically, according to the numbers this year, Bill. The Mets' overall ERA is a lot better than the Phillies right now. 610-632-0975. Mike Missanelli Show continues.
Andrew Salciunas.
It's Easter Monday, Bill. What does Easter Monday mean? What happened on Easter Monday? The resurrection was Easter, and Easter Monday is what? When they discovered that the tomb was empty?
I thought they discovered that on Sunday, no?
Well, what's Easter Monday?
When he started to walk around? I don't know.
When he ascended?
No, he didn't
That was
ascend for
yesterday.
40 days. He roamed the earth for 40 days after he rose from the dead. Then the
He
ascension
rose
is
yesterday.
later.
Easter was the rising, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
And I think that's when they found him, was yesterday.
all right. Well, anyway, there's a lot of local bloggers out there. Everybody seems to have some kind of video blog these days.
It's very easy to just put a camera on.
Right. So we heard about there's a local blogger who he does a thing called the 2-minute warning. It's kind of trite, but what the heck? Anyway, yesterday he wanted to put out a 2-minute warning, and I'm thinking, well, maybe the Phillies losing. Let's hear the 2-minute warning from yesterday.
Today's 2-minute drill on this Easter Sunday, we profile the greatest man to ever live, Jesus Christ. Jesus was
All right,
born of the Virgin Mary.
All right, there
not
you go.
Born-
That's enough. The delivery of that, Jesus Christ. It's pretty interesting, wasn't it?
It was pretty good.
You can't not agree. I mean, if you're a Christian, you would agree with the premise, wouldn't you?
That Jesus was the greatest man to ever walk the earth?
Well, I don't know. I guess so.
WWJD?
That's correct.
You got anything, Ray?
That's what
Mike amuses himself.
that's an effective blog right there. What do you think?
Oh, man.
Oh, anyway, let's get back.
I got nothing for you.
Let's go to the phones. You let me just dangle.
I
that
have
there.
nothing for you.
You're a bastard.
What do you want me to
Let's
do?
go to Greg in Lehigh. Greg in Lehigh Valley checking in. Greg, you're on 97.
Hey, Mike, it's so good to have you back.
Jesus Christ.
Back in day. Hey, Mike, I used to call you when Lehigh had the camp up there with the Eagles back in the day.
Oh, I appreciate it, man. I'm sorry. I got the giggles right now.
No. I'm going to unload a little bit. I
right,
totally agree with you about your refresh comment. The way I look at the Phillies, Mike, it's like they had all winter to make a move, and they have a minor league outfield, at least in one or two positions, and they didn't make a change in the outfield, and I think they regressed in the bullpen. So I actually look for a regression, not a progression this year.
Well, yeah, but see, here's the thing that bugs me. The general manager should realize something like that. Like, I don't know how you go into a season not fortified in your outfield, and especially in your bullpen, where you lost two guys that were effective. You lost two guys who were effective, and you took a shot on a guy coming off an injury who hasn't performed.
Totally agree with you. And in my opinion, why the hell did they trade Marsh for something in the outfield? Do a package deal, Marsh and some prospects, and sign Hoffman, for God's sakes.
Hoffman?
Yeah.
Jeff Hoffman, I think he's saying they shouldn't have let him
Hoffman,
go.
Yeah,
why didn't they sign him? Oh, okay.
I say, they should have signed him and cut salary somewhere else and trade one of the outfield. I mean, their outfield's terrible. I mean, center and left field is like, you never know what you can get out of there.
Rojas is on a roll right now, though. Bill thinks he could be a full-timer.
Yeah, it means he got a single and he stole a base. Big deal.
Bill was high on Kepler, too. Bill thought Kepler's going to have a big year. It hasn't played out that way so far.
He's hitting the ball better.
Well, Mike, it's good. It's good to have you back, Mike, because you speak the truth, and I've always enjoyed you through the years.
Thank you, Greg. I appreciate it.
Wanted to welcome you back.
Thank you, Greg. That's really nice of you.
All right, you take care, buddy.
All right, pal.
You speak the truth, Mike.
The truth gets me into trouble sometimes. And yet,
the truth will set you free, I thought.
As Jesus Christ, with what?
I thought the truth will set you free.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, you're getting a little bit of attack in the YouTube chat.
I'm getting attacked?
Yeah, they were saying they thought that you grew up in the church and that you don't know what Easter is because you asked what Easter Monday was.
Well, I just know what was this. No, I know what Easter is.
I know. That's why
I just didn't know what, like, Easter. People say it's Easter Monday. Is that just because it's the day after Easter?
I believe so.
Or is there any kind of significance to? I didn't grow up in a church, to be honest with you. I was a church cheater.
I don't know what that means.
That means you go in there because you're obligated, but you never pay attention.
My understanding, and I apologize if I'm getting this wrong, but my understanding was, after Easter, after he rises, there's 40 days before then he ascends into heaven and sits at the right hand of the Father. He ascends.
Wait a minute. He rises. He rises
from the dead.
And then he just hangs out for 40 days?
Yeah, he roams the earth for 40 days, his teachings and all that. But then after he ascends, on the 49th day is when the Pentecost happens, right? Where now the Holy Spirit gets put upon the
You went
apostles.
to Catholic school. Because, of course, you're going to know this.
I'm pretty sure.
I didn't go to Catholic school.
I'm pretty sure I'm accurate on all this.
I didn't realize that he rises from the dead and he's just still hanging around. What, in human form?
Yes. He walks the earth. And people have seen him. There's stories of people who have, in the Bible, who
After the resurrection?
After the resurrection.
The resurrection was that he was supposed to rise into heaven.
No, he rises from the dead. And then he becomes back into human form, and then he ascends into heaven.
Right. Are you aware of any of this?
Yeah, it sounds vaguely familiar. I did see CD.
It sounds vaguely familiar.
Yeah, I read the gospel.
Yeah. Which gospel?
I think yesterday was according to Mark, right?
Yes, there's 4 of them.
So this is Mark?
Well, they all talk about the resurrection.
No, I think John was actually yesterday.
All 4 gospels talk about the resurrection, but they all go farther back in time. But some of them start when Jesus, I forget how it is. Mark, I think, starts when Jesus was in the temple. And then
this is when he overturned the tables, the money.
I think so.
Launderers.
You know how happy my grandmother was to get me into a church yesterday, and now she's listening to me flounder around on this?
Did you go to church regularly, Ray?
Regularly, like growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah. Since then, I've become what we call a CEO.
Yeah,
Christmas
I
and
was a
Easter
church
open.
cheater, and I was taught by my brother to be a church cheater at the dime amount.
What does that mean?
Well, it means we didn't take it seriously. And so when my brother was entrusted to take me to church, he's older than me, so I was a little kid, a naive kid, and he had what he saw was kind of fallacies of religion. And so when my father, who wanted us to go to Catholic church, but my mother was not Catholic, so it really didn't resonate on us how serious each religion was.
Yeah.
So when he would give us the collection money, my brother would detour down a side street where there was a luncheonette that was open that had a baseball pinball machine.
Wait a second. So not only would you cheat on the church, you would take the money that you were supposed to offer and spend it?
Not me. I was a kid. I didn't know what we were doing.
Oh, these are major violations.
So we would play pinball.
Instead of church.
For 45 minutes, which was the math.
This explains a lot about why you are the way you are.
Well, no,
Instead of going to church and hearing the lessons of the gospel, they would steal the money and play pinball. I think we just learned everything we need to know.
And then what we would do, and he would find a scattered leaflet from the church.
And then lie about
as proof that we were there.
Yeah, the bulletin that they give out at the end?
Yeah, the bulletin. We always had a wrinkled bulletin from a trash can. 610-632-0975. But I continued to go after my brother left the house, and then I would still go.
That's good.
All right. It's the Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies dropped the series finale. I'm Ray Dunn with this Fanatic Sports Update. Phillies took 2 of 3 over the weekend from the Marlins, but dropped Sunday's game 7-5 in 10 innings. Orion Kirkring allowed a 3-run home run to surrender the lead in the 8th, and the Phillies offense squandered a chance to win it in the 9th with a 2-1 and 1 out. The bullpen struggles weren't just on Sunday. Over the weekend, they had a number of troubles Saturday, especially that the 6-run 9th inning from Jordan Romano. Rob Thompson talking about the bullpen struggles postgame.
Again, it's just part of the season, and I think that'll even itself out over time. But we played so many close games there for a long period of time that, yeah, we did lean on them. But they're a pretty resilient group.
Phillies now turn their attention to the NL East, leading New York Mets up at Citi Field. Aaron Nola and Tyler McGill matching up on the mound. 7-10 first pitch tonight. It's the week of the NFL Draft. The Eagles hold the 32nd pick in the draft. We'll continue to break down everything they might do with that pick throughout the week here on The Fanatic. And both the NBA and the NHL playoffs are underway. Yesterday, the West top seed in the NBA, the Thunder, won by 51 points over the Grizzlies' 5th largest margin of victory in NBA playoff history. This update is brought to you by Summit Racing Equipment. Revive your ride at summitracing.com. Use promo code RADIO for $10 off an order of $100 or more. Exclusions apply. Offer ends May 4th. I'm Ray Dunn on your home for the best 2025 Birds draft coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Playoffs, a very good first round, man. First game one. A lot of interesting games here. The Rockets and the Warriors. I was looking forward to that, baby. And the Warriors come out and slay the young Rockets by 10 in that game. And, of course, the Cavaliers had no problem with the Heat. The Celtics beat the Magic. The Thunder smashed the Grizzlies.
Smashed.
So let me ask you some potential trades since we're having fun with this concept here.
Okay.
Would you trade Maxey for Tyrese Halliburton?
Ooh, they're good buddies too. I don't think I would. I know I like Halliburton, but I don't. He's not going to carry a team by himself either. And that's kind of the criticism we've had of Maxey. I wouldn't trade Maxey for Halliburton.
Would you trade Maxey for Jamal Murray?
No. Would you do it? Would you do that trade?
Not sure. Would you trade Maxey for Jalen Brunson?
Yeah, I would. I would.
Would you trade Maxey for Anthony Edwards?
Yeah, I would do that trade.
Would you trade Maxey for Luka?
Yes, in a heartbeat.
Ray? All those trades I just mentioned.
Murray, I had a little bit of hesitation on. The other ones, I felt pretty good about.
Maxey for Halliburton?
Yeah.
You would do that?
Yeah. I like Halliburton.
Really?
Maxey for Darius Garland.
Ooh. Hard to say no after this year.
See, these are
I don't feel
fun.
good about this.
Aren't these fun, Bill? Aren't these fun to talk about?
No.
They're not fun?
No, these are fun.
Okay.
But
what's the fun? Harper for Skeens.
Yeah, we both said we would do that.
We would do that.
But the reason that I think it's more fun to talk about it with the Sixers is because of the disaster that they were this season. To throw out a hypothetical trade of A.J. Brown for a guy we've never seen play in the NFL for a trade that can't happen because of salary cap ramifications, coming off of a season where you won the Super Bowl.
Oh, loosen your pants. Hurts for Lamar Jackson.
I'm not trading Hurts for anybody, man.
Hurts for Lamar Jackson.
No, I'm not doing it.
You're not trading?
Nope.
Ray?
Nah.
Not doing it. And I'm not even saying that.
I'll pass.
I'm not saying that Jalen Hurts is a better quarterback than Lamar Jackson, but I have seen Jalen Hurts perform at the highest level on 2 occasions in the biggest game, the Super Bowl. We've never seen Lamar.
My point is here, Michkov or Connor McDavid. You said, oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And you love Michkov.
I do love Michkov, but Connor McDavid is generational.
All right. So we go back to the original one that was started the rumor that's got everybody's panties in a bunch. A.J. Brown for Abdul Carter.
Not possible.
I
can't get past it.
You still won't crack. It's amazing to me.
I keep going back to it. I can't get past the fact that it can't happen for salary cap purposes because the only reason I would consider it is for salary cap purposes. You're taking a shot on a guy that you
talent
can't,
for talent,
but you don't know how Abdul Carter is going to be at the NFL level.
How he's going to be. You know exactly how he's going to be.
What did you think? Did you think Jadeveon Clowney was going to be an absolute stud?
That's a different type of player. Jadeveon Clowney isn't as versatile as Abdul Carter. Abdul Carter, you can put him in any alignment, and he's going to be a dominant player.
When Clowney was coming out of South Carolina, first of all, he went number 1 overall. We thought he was going to be the greatest defensive player ever. And it's not that he's been bad. He's made 3 Pro Bowls, but he's not turned into the absolute dominant force that you thought you were getting with Clowney.
The player that comes out now, the Micah Parsons type of player, is a very rare player, and you know it.
Would you trade AJ for Micah?
No, because Micah's a little older now. I'm getting a lot of years out of this guy.
You see, I think
comes into the league.
I think if we were ignoring salary cap issues and all things were equal, I think I would feel more comfortable trading AJ for Micah than trading AJ for Abdul Carter because you've seen Micah Parsons.
So you would trade him for Micah Parsons, but not for Abdul Carter.
Again, it's hard because of the cap, and you're going to have to pay Micah Parsons. But if we were ignoring all things financial, and maybe even Micah Parsons' off-field attitude.
I think Abdul Carter is going to be a better player than Micah Parsons.
And you may be right, but it's a maybe.
And it's not Penn State.
Oh,
it has nothing to do with Penn State.
It's all about Penn State.
It's not Penn State oriented. It's 1 o'clock. You're listening to Mike Missanelli Show, 97.5 The Fanatic, WPEN HD1, Burlington, Philadelphia, Beasley Media Group station. We broadcast every day from the Comcast Business Studios, powering possibilities. All right, let's start the 1 o'clock hour with a phone call. Grant from Norristown is checking in. What's up, Grant?
How you doing, Mike?
Good, buddy. How you doing? We had 2 Grants today. That's hard to believe.
Felton to replace A.J. Brown, and then you draft Abdul Carter. And if you're not getting Abdul Carter, I like Starks or Greeny or whatever his name is from Georgia.
Wait a minute. We're just taking it one at a time here. Would you trade A.J. Brown to get Abdul Carter?
Absolutely.
You would. All right. Now say why.
Because Abdul Carter and Carter would be good together. Carter and Carter together is incredible.
It'll be the most dominant defensive line in football.
Absolutely.
It was close to being last year. Imagine what that does. Yeah.
Yep.
And you're going to lose A.J. now. Now you lose a weapon, so your offense obviously won't be as good.
And I replace him with Felton.
Replace him with Felton.
Yes,
There you go, Bill.
Maryland.
There you go. Bill, go ahead. Comment, Bill. Bill's not doing it.
I just can't. I can't get around the salary cap thing. So what you're saying, sure, you put Abdul Carter on the defensive line with Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, Jalix Hunt. Great, he's going to be dominant. I understand why people would want Abdul Carter. I just have a hard time suspending belief and just saying, all right, in this imaginary world we live in where money doesn't matter and everything's all equal, do we trade A.J. Brown for Abdul Carter? It's hard for me, Mike. I know you're saying it's a fun barroom conversation.
You just can't give in to the fun. I don't get it. Grant, there's something wrong with this guy. He can't give in to the fun. How many conversations have we had in our lifetime, sports conversation? Yeah, it's
for
like
the best available.
It's all right. Thanks for the call, Grant. I mean, there's a guy who would do it. Now the text board is probably not ready to commit. Text board is probably there's no way, right? The chat. What's the chat saying, Bill?
YouTube chat is basically agreeing with my premise, saying it's hard to suspend belief, like to just say, yeah, you know what, this would do this. But most of them are saying they would not do it.
Did you not make up stories when you were a kid? The fairy tales that your parents read to you, the stories that were untrue, Star Wars, come on, let your imagination run wild.
This would be a great story for me to make up for Leo at bedtime.
There you go.
He would have no idea what I'm talking about.
That's actually good. That's how I became a sports fan.
Wow, your dad would tell you?
Yeah, the bedtime stories. The heroes were Dawkins. T.O. was a hero for a while, then became a villain really quick.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe because I make up stories every night for Leo. I should start making it about sports to try to get him into it, because he could not care less about sports.
I'm telling you.
So the heroes in the story.
How old's Leo?
6.
Does it bug you that he doesn't like sports?
It doesn't bug me, but it's also, I feel like, if you were an athlete growing up, and then you picture what it's going to be like having a son when you're a father.
Yeah.
You picture going out back and having a baseball catcher.
He's got no interest in t-ball or anything?
Nothing right now. And maybe it'll change, but he's just not into that right now. But it's not how I pictured it. But he's a good kid. He's a good kid.
That's all that matters.
He is. He's the best. He really is. He's a character too, man. But yeah, you don't like sports. Yeah. And my daughter doesn't like it. We'll see if the littlest one does.
Nothing rubbed off, huh? No genes were passed?
Not yet.
Did they realize what a big star you are?
Not yet. I mean, I just remember back when I was 6.
They always call him Mr. Touchdown. They always call him Mr. T.
But when I was 6, I was playing ice hockey and baseball.
He can throw. Give him the ball and just watch him go. Tell them stories of Bill. Tales of Bill.
Yeah,
playing tight end with the ladies, as Ray would say. Go, Billy.
Speaking of Ray and the ladies,
nope.
Now that today's his 25th birthday,
wherever this is going,
could be a good opportunity for us to start sharing ideas of how we're going to do this Win a Date with Ray competition.
Date with Ray.
Well, I think now would be the time.
We'll take some suggestions on Twitter.
I think that'd be great, Ray.
And on the text board.
Well, we're going to have to wait until the phone system's put in, because the phones are going to be off the hook trying to win a date with Ray.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I think they might be. Young, upcoming professional. Got the full beard.
Went viral last week.
Uh-huh.
Calls games for ESPN Plus. Temple's women's basketball.
There you go.
Produces this show.
Drinks 20 ounces of beer at every airport.
Spontaneous enough to say, sure, I'll go to Citi Field on a Monday night.
Trolls around Fishtown and all the great spots.
Can you dance, Ray?
What do you think?
I would say no.
Yeah. I would also
not
say
picture
no.
you as a dancer.
I will dance.
Let me ask you a question, Ray. You're at a bar and you're just hanging out with your buddies, and some attractive young lady, comes up to you and says, "Would you like to dance?" Do you say, "I don't dance," or do you just go through the motions and risk the fact that she might look at you dancing and may not see the greatest dancer?
I would say that this also feels like Fantasyland because I don't recall any of the last time that someone's done the "you want to come dance with me" thing.
Yeah,
but if that were to happen, I would absolutely go out and dance because I'm not going to be the guy that's like, "Oh no, get away from me."
You would.
Yeah, it's a
knowing
fun.
that she's examining every move. That she's a good dancer and she's looking at you, and it might be you might not have a chance after that first dance. Whereas if you say, "No, I'm into other things. I haven't really experienced dancing yet, but I will maybe in the future."
Like you can't knock down the shot if you don't shoot.
Well, you're being stoic, but you're still shooting the shot. But she says maybe there's a little more intrigue to this guy that he won't dance with me, because if you dance and you look like kind of a clodder,
But
that's out.
But you're looking at it.
That's going to be gone forever.
But you're looking at it from the negative. If someone asks you to dance and then you go and you knock it out of the park, now
well, he's
they're more
suggesting
attractive.
he's not going to knock it out of the park.
I'm suggesting I'm going to have a fun time with her either way.
It's going to be. You just got to learn a couple of moves.
You don't really have to learn a couple of moves. You just got to learn how to have a good time.
Move with the song.
You just have to go with the flow.
And that'll suffice.
MBD said, "Would you like to dance?" What is this, 1957?
No. There's a girl. There's girls that will say, "You gonna dance with me?"
Dancing is still important. Yeah, weddings,
Yeah.
right? You got to dance at weddings.
Yeah,
but there's
exactly.
clubs and everything else, right? Do you still dance at clubs? Right? I'm not that old.
Yeah, you do.
Yeah.
Absolutely. You do.
Yeah, it's dark. You know, you've had a few. I don't necessarily know if everyone's dancing the best way.
When you were in your heyday, Billy Gettysburg heyday, when you're dancing, are you looking at her or are you looking cool in the sky? Like, what were you doing?
Depends. It depends. And this may surprise
were
people.
you a look in the sky guy and not looking at her, making eye contact as you're fast
It
dancing?
depends. Sometimes eye contact, sometimes not. And this may surprise people to hear coming from me because I don't usually tout my abilities. I'm a great dancer, man. Great dancer, Ray. I'm going to teach you a few things during
My
the break.
birthday gift be just like
I'm
getting
gonna-
the
I'm gonna
last like,
teach you-
segment of this show without Bill
right.
touting something.
I'll teach you a few
Right.
things during the break.
You know he can do it all. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
Tyrone Johnson.
I believe that Turner and Harper and Cass
Show 97.5, The Fanatic. You mentioned to me whether I watch WrestleMania. I did not. But WrestleMania is getting panned a little bit. On Sunday night was night 2.
Yeah, people are angry about the main event.
And the main event had John Cena beating Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship.
Correct. And I think what people were upset about was Travis Scott was the only person who came out, and now this makes John Cena a 17-time champ, which is the first ever, or the most ever. And I candidly, I have not been following it.
Well, Cena turned heel.
He did,
right?
Yeah. Yeah, he turned heel a couple months ago, and I don't know what Ray, do you know what the Travis Scott relationship is, why he came out? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure, like, Tyrone follows it. I'll have to ask him. I know he follows it. But and Haley was talking about it this morning, but I haven't really been into wrestling since high school. I've heard it's good again, but I just haven't get on into it. Were you ever into it? Were you ever
He aligned himself with The Rock.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. Cena, and I think
now the villain.
Paul Heyman was involved too in not the main event, but he sided with The Rock. I don't know.
So The Rock turned bad guy how many years ago? Recently?
I don't know. I honestly don't.
I thought you were a wrestling man.
I used to be back when I was.
You're not right now.
In high school and college, I liked it, like the NWO days and the Generation X. No, I haven't watched it recently.
All right.
I got 2 words for you. You remember that? The DX? You're too young for that too, right?
Yeah, too young, and not going to yuck anyone's yum here on this one, but never really got into the whole wrestling thing.
Not going to yuck anyone's yum?
Never heard that before.
Someone's used it at this station before. It's been
Really?
said on this station.
Yuck a yum?
What's that mean?
You know, I'm not going to say what you like is a dumb thing, but it's not for me.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I like that. Yuck anybody's yum.
Now,
whose it is? I've heard that. I thought we all heard that on the station before.
Yeah,
I
I never
forget who
heard
said
that
it.
before.
So some of our wrestling fans are weighing in the YouTube chat.
What are they saying?
Ed Wright said that the women's title triple threat match might have been the best women's match of all time.
Really?
At WrestleMania.
And who won that one?
No idea. Randy, everything was meh, but I don't know much about. I don't know what that means.
It was meh.
Yeah, I don't know what he's referring to.
Not the whole night.
I guess so.
It was meh. Meh.
Rock didn't even show up, so The Rock was not at WrestleMania.
He wasn't there?
Which I guess people are mad about.
Oh.
So, were you ever into wrestling, Mike?
Yeah.
When were you really into it?
My favorite guy was Randy. Jimmy
Superfly Snooker?
Superfly Snooker. But Rowdy Piper was one of my guys, man.
Oh, you liked Rowdy
I
Piper?
love that whole shtick that he did. I was a Piper guy, but Snooker was fantastic.
Superfly.
I mean, he would fly from those ropes and just pummel you. Big built dude, crazy. Got into trouble, got arrested. You know.
Yeah. So you didn't watch.
I watch. You know what I watch a lot? The Dark Side of the Ring.
Oh, like the documentaries and stuff.
Yeah, it's on. What's the channel that's on?
A&E, I think.
No, it's not A&E. It's the chat board will have it. Yeah, I forget what it is, but I watch that a lot.
So
those behind the scenes stories.
There's
about
some
how
great
those wrestlers
documentaries.
have always messed up their whole lives. And
I may have asked you this before. Did you ever watch the Andre the Giant documentary that HBO did?
yes,
That one was phenomenal.
yeah,
I love the documentaries.
I do too.
People are saying it's on Vice. Is it on Vice?
Vice, yes,
Okay.
Vice, that channel.
Yeah.
The Dark Side of the Ring.
I am a glutton for the wrestling documentaries. Like, I still will watch those because Peacock used to have them all. I don't know if they do anymore now that WWE has the Netflix thing, but you could go on Peacock and they had a whole section, like tons of documentaries about wrestling. I loved them.
Listen, I loved the Iron Sheik, Sergeant Slaughter, Junkyard Dog, Coco Beware, like back in the day stuff.
I was watching
like the subplot with the Iranian versus America, like that was so.
So I was watching a documentary about that, and Sergeant Slaughter, when he turned heel, he sided with the Iranian storyline.
Yeah,
he was actually getting like death threats and stuff because he went
the
from
Iron
being
Sheik was the Iranian, right?
Yeah, but then Slaughter turned heel as this, he was turning on America and all that. And
I think the subplot, like the plots of them written are brilliant. A lot of them.
But they used to be. I don't know how they are now.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't follow it now. Back in the day, man, I was into it.
Yeah, I was too.
In fact, I had Randy Macho Man Savage on. I had 2 wrestlers on when I was doing WMMR back in the day. And Savage was in the studio with me, and so was the big dude, that guy larger than life, who's the champ now. He was a wrestler at Minnesota.
Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar.
Yeah, he was a beast, man.
And he went.
I think he married
too, didn't he?
I think he married Sable, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
For all the men who came to see, for all the women who want to be me, and all the men that came to see me. That's
Randy Macho Man Savage had Elizabeth, right?
He did.
Yeah.
But then she ended up dying from a drug overdose with Lex Luger.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
How about Ravishing Rick Rude?
Oh, he was the best.
$1 Million Man Ted DiBiase. Like those guys, man.
Ravishing Rick Rude.
I love this.
Shut your mouths while I take off my robe and show you a real man. And he would do the Ravishing Rick Rude.
And Hacksaw, what's his name?
Jim Dugan.
Hacksaw
Jim Duggan, whatever.
Duggan.
Remember the Bushwhackers, too?
The Bushwhackers. That stuff was hysterical, man.
I like the Dudley Boys were after you, but they were great, too.
The British Bulldogs, they were too serious for me. They were technically they were too good as wrestlers.
They were part of the Hart family.
That's right.
Yeah.
The Hart family. All right, 610-632. So sorry we indulged us with the wrestling. But a lot of people say, oh, man, they were the great days. Ravishing Rick Rude. The $1 Million Man Ted DiBiase throwing dollars.
Yeah.
Classic stuff, man.
It was classic.
Mike Missanelli Show continues. 97.5 The Fanatic.
Fanatic Sports Update.
Phillies dropped the series finale. I'm Ray Dutton. This update is brought to you by Mercedes-Benz. That feeling owning first Mercedes-Benz, hard to believe, but it's real. From leather stitching the iconic design, every element of Mercedes lives up to its reputation. See for yourself at your local dealer. Phillies took 2 of 3 over the weekend from the Marlins, but dropped Sunday's game 7-5 in 10 innings. Ryan Kirk allowed a 3-run homer to surrender the lead in the 8th, and the Phillies offense squandered a chance to win it in the 9th. The bullpen struggles didn't just happen on Sunday. On Saturday, 6 runs allowed by Jordan Romano in the 9th inning. Rob Thompson spoke postgame about the bullpen.
Again, it's just part of the season, and I think that'll even itself out over time. But we played so many close games there for a long period of time that, we did lean on them, but they're a pretty resilient group.
Phillies now turn their attention to the NL East, leading New York Mets up at Citi Field. Aaron Nola and Tyler McGill match up on the mound at 7:10 tonight. That's the first pitch up in New York. It's the week of the NFL Draft. The Eagles hold the 32nd pick in the draft. We'll continue to break down all week long what they might do there in the first round. Of course, everything going on draft weekend in the NFL. Both the NBA and the NHL playoffs are underway. In the NBA yesterday, the West top seed, the Thunder, won by 51 points over the Grizzlies, the 5th largest margin of victory in an NBA playoff game. I'm Ray Dunn, your home for the best 2025 Birds draft coverage, 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
25 years young, Ray Dunn is. We're glad to have that youthful element here on the program.
That's right.
3 different generations here.
We do have 3 different
Mike Missanelli
generations.
show.
Wait, what are you, Ray? You're not a millennial, right?
No.
What are you?
I'm Z.
X. Z. Yeah, he's a Zer.
Gen Z. I'm a millennial. And what are you, Mike? Baby boomer?
No, I'm in between that. I'm after that.
What's that?
I don't know what that's called. I don't think
X,
we had
right?
it.
Isn't that-
I don't think we had anything. I don't think we were called anything. I think we were just misfits who came in between. The NBA tonight, before we get to our caller, we got Xander coming on. But I kind of like this bet, man. I want to get your advice on this. Timberwolves, who slayed the Lakers in their first game. It's kind of a must-win for L.A. They are -5.5, the Lakers, tonight.
Ooh. In L.A., too.
Yes.
I like that.
Do you like the Lake Show to cover that?
Yeah, I think the Lakers win tonight. They're not going to go down 2-0.
Meanwhile, you got the Pacers who are up 1-0. They're -4.5 tonight over Antetokounmpo and those Bucks. And then you got the Thunder. Oh, my God. Thunder, 14.5-point favorite over the Grizzlies.
Coming off of what, 50-point performance?
It's like the Thunder can't be stopped this year.
You think it's OKC Boston in the?
Yeah. Well, I don't know.
Don't rule out Golden State.
No, forget Golden State. I don't know that Boston could beat Cleveland. I got to be honest with you. I think the Cavaliers are always taken lightly.
Boston will beat Cleveland.
You think so?
Yeah.
I don't know, man. The Cleveland Cavs get underrated.
They're
a pretty solid team. Plus, they got my man Ty Jerome firing. Who thought he would have been a player in the NBA? Ty Jerome out of Virginia. All of a sudden, he's emerged like J.J. Redick.
Well, because the Sixers have been so good at finding talent. Did you see, according to Mark Stein, Elton Brand, the favorite?
I see that. It's good luck
go to
him.
Atlanta.
I don't understand how he could have a good reputation at this point, but God bless him.
Well, yeah, I mean, you look at these teams you're talking about, and some of the young players that they found.
He played there, so maybe they got a familiarity with him.
But yeah, I don't know what Elton Brand has done. Well, he was the one that gave Al Horford the big deal, right?
Yeah.
What else? What else did Elton Brand do? Did he make? What were his best moves? What were Elton Brand's best moves?
I have to check on that. But
nothing's coming off the top of my head.
Who am I to say they made a bad choice on the job? They like him. They like him. That would be -1 guy from the Sixers 8-man front office. By the way.
Yeah.
So I think they would manage with 7 other guys.
I think they'll be okay.
All right, let's go back to the phones. We'll go Xander in Washington Township. What's up, Xander?
Hi, guys. So I wanted to backtrack a little bit talking about the A.J. Brown trade talks. And
Go ahead.
to me, I think oh, sorry.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
To me, I think it's just ridiculous that people think that it's actually going to happen. To me, it makes absolutely zero sense why we would get rid of our best wide receiver.
What, it would make zero sense to you? Had to have a dominant player for the next 8 years, would it be the most dominant defensive end in the game, would not make sense to you?
No, it wouldn't, because when you look at the offense, Saquon Barkley, he's a great player. I'm so glad that we signed him. He has an injury history, and also in the Super Bowl, he was only allowed 50 yards on the ground. We had to rely on the passing game. So when you have a player, a two-way threat like A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith, getting that away to draft for defense, which in my opinion I feel like isn't too big of a worry. Yes, we lost a lot of players, but we still have a lot of young guys. We still have Ojomo, we have Burks, we have Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Jacoby Dean, Nolan Smith. It doesn't make sense to jump up that high just to get a potential great pick, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I totally disagree with you. I understand what you're saying. And yes, he's a dynamic player, and he makes the Eagles' offense dynamic. This guy is a more important position than wide receiver. And this guy is going to be a dominant defensive end who would be lethal in the league. And you're having him under contract, a rookie contract at first. He would be the dominant player for the next 8 years at that position. And A.J. Brown's got maybe 2-3 years left.
I mean, I guess, but then we just signed him to an extension. Trading him away doesn't make sense. And again, we have another.
Well, it's not. Listen, it's not going to happen. But if you're going to put the value of the player on it, A.J. Brown's a great player. The other guy's going to be a dominant player at one of the most important positions in the game. I don't know. I really, to me, it's a flat out no brainer. But this is why we solicit opinions on this. It's just a jocular conversation. It's not going to happen. It doesn't work with the salary cap. It has no chance of happening. But it's a classic. Sit around with your friends and say, "Would you trade this guy for that guy?" And I would trade. I would make it in a second. And I think that you're being a little more provincial on it because of what AJ means to the team. And I totally get that. But you're not projecting how great Abdul Carter is going to be in this league.
No, I understand that. I just think taking a risk. I mean, he's going to be a great player. He's going to be a top 5 pick. I just think the risk might be a little. I think it might be too risky.
How is it too risky?
I mean, you see guys all the time coming out of college that are supposed to be the most dominant people ever.
You don't see guys like this. You don't see guys like this. The last guy you saw like this was Micah Parsons. How's he?
You do have a good point there.
Now listen, Xander, I appreciate you calling in. And your opinion is what everybody else thinks anyway. So you're not. I have the more unpopular opinion. I have the opinion that people think I'm cracked in the head, but I stand by my cracked in the head opinion.
Yeah, and I know you keep prefacing it with we're putting everything that makes it not possible aside, but I do think there's a lot of fans who have a hard time looking at it that way, where they know it's impossible, so it does. It's
God, it's what we dream. Like this is the first thing we've dreamt about that wasn't going to come true. We do it all the time in our heads.
I know. It's just the fact that the original question was posed on Friday as being reality. So that's why I think fans got their back up. I don't think fans necessarily disagree with you when you're just going player for player.
Okay? Yeah. Nobody had a source that said that this was being discussed because logistically it doesn't work. So the WEEI report, to me, is foolish that somebody has a source that indicates that the Eagles were talking about this. But in a barroom conversation, I think it's really fun to talk about.
But I do look at A.J. Brown, though, and think about all the stuff that this guy's been through. So last year, there were all these rumors, again, created by a radio station about A.J. Brown and would you trade him for Patrick Surtain II. He does the Autism Foundation bike ride, almost gets hit by a car in Philadelphia because somebody runs a stop sign. Then this season, he reads the book on the sidelines and gets killed by a lot of people for it being called a diva. Now there's a trade talk about an impossible trade that could happen, trading him for Abdul Carter. And then today he wakes up and someone in the city stole his damn car. Will people leave this man alone? He may be the greatest receiver we've ever had in franchise history. Leave A.J. Brown alone. No more trying to hit him with your car. No more stealing his vehicle. And stop making him the subject of ridiculous BS trade rumors. I'm done with it.
We're going to hurt his feelings.
It's so. Why is AJ always the focus?
Sorry to hurt his feelings.
We need this man.
He's a grown man and makes a lot of money. He's a star player in the league. I think he could take it.
Getting his car stolen?
Well, that could happen to anybody. Did they steal it because it was A.J. Brown's car?
They probably stole it because it was a really nice ride.
Where does he live?
Where does A.J. live? Is he in the city or is he in Jersey?
I don't know, but you say it could happen to anyone. I would say
no one's stealing Ray's car.
Nobody's taking my car.
Ray could leave the keys in the ignition with a sign on it, "Please take me," and it's staying.
For insurance purposes, that's a lie.
You know, somebody tried to steal one of my cars back in the day. I pulled into a 7-Eleven, and I went in for something. And when I came out, but the car wasn't there in the parking lot space. So I'm looking all around. I look across the street. It was in hedges.
Oh, so they did try to take it.
They tried to take it. The parking brake. They put off the parking brake, and it came out of the lot, and it weaved around. I guess they tried to kickstart it somehow, and it wound up curling and going like over the street and into a hedge on the other side of the road.
No, I've never had my car
Never had the car stolen?
But I have had my car towed twice in the city of Philadelphia, and there is no worse feeling.
No payment of parking tickets?
No. One time I didn't see the sign that said no parking 4 to 6 or whatever. And then another time I didn't realize I was in Fairmount when I was living in Fairmount. I didn't realize I parked in front of a garage.
Ooh.
So I felt like terrible. I come out, not only is my car going, I felt bad for the homeowner. Like, man, I blocked his garage. I would have been angry too having my car too. I didn't see his garage.
How difficult was it for you to get the car?
Pain in the ass. No worse feeling.
It really is.
It is such a pain.
I got booted once in front of the Inquirer. I was working at the Inquirer. I had to go on an assignment. I go outside, had my car parked. My car is booted.
Yeah, that stinks.
And I had to go on an assignment. What did I do? I had to borrow somebody's car.
It's the worst.
It is terrible. 610-632-0975. Back after this.
ESPN's Adam Schefter.
Show. 97.5, the Fanatic. Got a little acid reflux going today, man.
What'd you
for
eat?
acid reflux? I don't know. Maybe it's the coffee. Coffee exacerbates it.
What did you eat yesterday? Anything special on Easter Sunday?
No, nothing special.
Nothing
Yeah,
special.
it wasn't an Easter feast. It was like, it was kind of
I ate a lot yesterday.
friend's house,
Wheels were off the bus yesterday.
Yeah, you ate a lot? You don't like ham, though. You don't eat ham?
Don't do the ham, but, started it with a nice Easter breakfast, which is a ton of food.
Or you went out? You took the fam out?
Yeah,
breakfast?
my aunt hosts.
Oh, your aunt has
Yeah, and it's like tradition. They make the same stuff every year.
Yeah, they make the Easter bread?
Easter bread,
Oh, they get
homemade
the Easter bread.
Homemade Easter bread.
Gotta like the Easter bread.
Little
You
frittata.
put the egg in the middle?
Yeah,
of the Easter bread?
the egg in the middle
Yeah.
of the Easter bread. Always good. Little frittata action.
Oh, yeah, frittata.
Then they make some sort of like rice thing. It's like these cubes of rice that have like ham and egg inside of it. It's like a traditional thing that my family's been making for hundreds of years.
Really?
That's what I was told
Never heard
anyway.
of those.
So killed it at breakfast.
They
Took a
make
little bit of a
the
break.
calzone with the calzone with the sausage and the egg in it.
No, didn't do
that,
that. No. So that
Yeah,
took a
that's
little
all stuff I couldn't eat.
You couldn't eat that stuff.
Yeah.
Why?
The egg. Had
Oh,
the
yeah,
had
you're-
the egg taint.
Yeah,
I didn't eat anything with the egg taint.
you're ridiculous with the egg thing.
Even the egg in the middle of the Easter bread, they would have to make a separate, non-egg version for me.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
At the honest,
No, it was a lot of eggs. A lot of eggs on the Sunday morning, but then took a little break, then went to my grandmom's, stuffed shells, meatballs, phenomenal. And then they brought out the ham, but I just filled up on the stuffed shells. I can't do the ham.
No. You're not a ham man?
I don't, you know what I think it is? I think it's the sweetness of the honey-baked ham.
Oh, I'm a big fan of the honey.
I hate it, because you know what? I love turkey.
Uh-huh.
And I love lunch meat turkey, but I can't do the honey roasted turkey. I think it's the sweetness of it that gets me.
Okay.
So no, did not have
I
that.
guess who we have on the line on Easter Monday.
Well, we already heard from Greg. So our other daily caller, it's got to be Vicente.
It is the great Vicente from Ecuador. Vicente, ¿cómo te sientes esta tarde?
Hola, amigo mío. Perfecto.
Oh, beautiful.
Happy
¿Qué hiciste para Pascual?
Me and my wife, we went over invited by my daughter and my son-in-law. And we had a wonderful Easter.
Fantastic.
lunch
Yeah, it was
and
last the
breakfast,
Easter feast.
brunch.
Did you have Ecuadorian delights?
No,
No?
it was all American.
Oh.
A delicious glazed ham. Prepared all by my daughter.
Beautiful.
She's wonderful cook. Anyway, I wanted to ask you. I wanted to tell you first of all, you're gonna learn something from me. An Ecuadorian, not an American, but you and I were born in the baby boomer generation. But a subgroup of that boomer generation is Generation Jones, and that's what you are because you were born November 11, 1955. You're gonna be 7. You were too young.
Hey, thank you for that
to
information,
protest
Vicente.
the Vietnam War.
Come on, man. Don't dime me out. What's wrong with you?
No, we're gonna celebrate together.
Oh, okay. All right.
November
We're gonna celebrate together.
Wow.
Fantastic.
Yeah. So yeah, you and I we're keeping up with the Jonas.
Beautiful.
You know,
Beautiful.
a desire for something.
Yeah.
So
All right.
yeah.
So what's on your
Jones.
mind today, sports wise?
Oh, tonight the Phillies are gonna get revenge against the Mets. It doesn't matter that Soto is over there.
What's the line?
We're gonna get the win.
Mets are
tonight.
slight favorites.
We're
Mets
gonna
are favorites?
rectify.
Yeah, Mets are minus 124. Phils are a plus 106.
Oh.
Slight favorites.
All right.
Correctamente. Yes, Billy's right. You know.
Billy's
So we're
right.
gonna win.
Okay, I like it. Vicente.
All right.
You take
Have a
care of
good-
yourself.
Let me ask you.
Yes,
Vicente
sir.
just said something.
Uh-huh.
Phillies are going to get revenge tonight.
Minus 125.
Can you really consider it revenge winning a regular season game after they knocked you out in the playoffs last year? I don't see it as revenge.
Yeah, well, you revenge would be to sweep the series.
Yeah.
I don't know. You still should have an edge.
Yeah, I think they'll have
going
a
into
little
that game, you should have an edge tonight. It's the hated Mets. They humiliated you last year.
Now we're going to
Let's
have
face it.
a big show tomorrow. because we're going to be reacting either positively or negatively to Aaron Nola. If he has another bad start, he has to have a good start.
0-4 with a 6.65 ERA. Now, fortunately, we haven't focused on that. You know why? Because the other two lefties have been lights out.
Correct.
Hyland McGill throws hard, my man.
I want to see Nola have a solid outing, though, because I still believe in Nola. I'm not out on him, but he hasn't looked great. But I want him to have a solid outing. And I think you're going to see the bats continue their
You like him tonight, huh?
I do. I think the Phils are going to win tonight. I think Aaron Nola is going to give you at least 6 solid innings, but I'm hoping for 7.
Boy, Hyland McGill's come out of nowhere.
But, Mike.
ERA is way down.
Oh, no, I was reading this article.
Big, hard-throwing righty.
I was looking at this article that Ray gave us, though. You do have to look at who the Mets' opponents have been. I mean, really. I know that their starting rotation, ERA looks great and all that. 6 games against the Marlins. 3 in the cold in Minnesota. 3 against a struggling Houston Astros team. So, I mean, there's some reason why. I know you could look at the Marlins stunk and look what the Phillies bullpen did, but I just think that smoke and mirrors with this pitching staff right now from the Mets.
Let's look at McGill. He lost his first 2 starts. He lost at Minnesota. He lost to the Marlins at home. 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 2 runs. They yanked him early in that game. He hasn't gone more than 5 1/3 yet. Beat Toronto, 5 1/3, give up 2 hits. His last 2 starts have been pretty good. Against Houston, 5 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts.
I'm looking at a lot of the Phillies have had some success against them. I mean, Bohm, OPS of 777, Castellanos OPS of 777 against them. Trey Turner 708.
Why are the Mets a favorite? Why are they favorite in this game? With Nola, I guess because
that's
Nola's
what I
struggling.
think. Yep, I think it's probably because of Nola's struggles, and Vegas is looking at it as if the Mets get to the Phillies bullpen early against a struggling Nola, it's anybody's guess because the bullpen struggle.
All right, I want to get to this one thing before we get out of here, since we're talking about baseball. That Ray put on the sheet. Ray, tell the story of Ronald Acuna Jr.
Oh, so great.
And what he did.
I was so excited to see this. This rocked. So on Saturday, Jared Kelenic on the Braves hit one to the wall, basically pimped it. Was like, oh, yeah, this is out.
Lollygagged it, thought it was a home run.
Yeah, thought for sure this one's going out of the ballpark. No way. Did not run it out. Ends up only getting... Or he gets thrown out at second.
He got thrown out.
He tried to stretch it.
He had to then hustle.
Yeah, and then he gets thrown out.
It was a stone double, and they threw him out at second base.
So after the game, they asked manager Brian Snitker about it. And he about whether or not he was going to punish him or why he didn't pull him out of the game in that moment. Snitker says, was I supposed to? When asked about whether or not he said anything to Kelenic. Acuna sees this on social media and replies to the tweet with this. It's saying, if I had done that, I would have gotten benched, which is peak theater. And then eventually deletes it before everybody gets to the ballpark and before they have to talk about it with Snitker.
In fact, he did get benched for doing that.
He has.
2 years ago, and has had a red ass about it ever since. But the question is, should he have tweeted that? Because then he deleted it thinking, well, it's probably wrong to do that. Bill, you have any problem with him tweeting that? If I would have done that, I would have gotten benched because he did.
Yeah, he shouldn't have done it.
Couldn't have done it because it's a team-oriented situation.
Even if he's not wrong, you don't tweet that out.
He's not wrong.
Yeah, you don't tweet that out. What good does that do other than this?
It doesn't do any good except for the fans that are going to bring it up. You're playing into the fans' hands there.
Oh, Ray, let me just clarify this. Because I did see Acuna's tweet, but it was all like, quote tweeted and stuff. This was in response to Kelenic saying why.
This was a response to
Snitker.
I'm sorry.
Quote being tweeted out by a reporter.
So it was not right away that he tweeted out, if I would have done that, I would have been benched. This was in response to Snitker saying, I didn't.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that makes it even worse.
Problems in Atlanta.
Yeah, they look like they're really reeling. Anything on the text board to clean up any of the stuff that we did today, Ray?
Nate in Northeast actually hit on a few of the things that we talked about today. You want to go all the way back to the conversation you had about the power washer. Bill sounds so shocked someone owns a power washer. I own two also, two generators, power cords, drills, garden tools, common things who people who do their own work use. Let's be real. Bill's father-in-law will be driving the RV because that's his work, and also want to chime in on the A.J. Brown thing. It said the car was found and the thief was arrested as of 30 minutes ago.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. They found it. How
Yes,
about that?
they did.
I wonder if a guy's not named A.J. Brown, they would have found it.
I don't know, but you said earlier, where does he live? Silvana just reminded me. I know exactly where he lives. He's
Where's he
like
live?
2 minutes from my house.
He's a Jersey man.
He's in Haddonfield. Yeah, but what's interesting is where
beautiful Haddonfield.
But where his house is, his neighbor's Travis Konechny. Where his house is like up on a hill, and there's only one like road to get up that hill. It's interesting that if it got stolen from his house, it's interesting that criminals would have gone up that hill to find his car and leave because it's not the easiest in and out.
Well, they must have known who
Definitely targeted it. Yeah, they had.
Let me ask you about Haddonfield. Isn't that the borough where they have all these restrictions on what color you can paint your house?
I believe there are restrictions with because it all has to.
So it's Victorian, right?
Yeah.
Victorian homes there,
but only in certain areas. I think
certain areas you can't paint your houses, so you have to get approval.
I think so. I think there's certain areas of Haddonfield where it's considered historic, so you have to get approval.
Oh, listen to that little haughtiness going on there.
Oh, there's a lot of haughtiness in Haddonfield.
Yeah, is that
yeah.
is that what all the people who live outside Haddonfield have that opinion of the people in Haddonfield?
Well, no, Haddonfield is always like, they got the highest taxes and all that. They're
really?
big on their schools.
Did you ever consider living in Haddonfield? Well, frankly about it, Eustis is looked at the same way by the other people.
Yeah, it used to be more so than now.
Bishop Useless these days.
Yeah, I think it's more so than now. But no, Haddonfield's a nice town. We head into Haddonfield a lot.
It's downtown America, Haddonfield.
Yeah, it's a nice town.
Yeah.
But a lot of the athletes.
What do you think of that, Ray?
A lot of
Restrictions
flyers.
on what you can paint your house.
I think it's ridiculous. In 25 years, when I finally own one, I'll be livid if that's the case.
Bill's all about it. Bill is posturing a move to the east side now.
We got to get you back on the Pennsylvania
Bill,
side.
you go to Haddonfield, you got to get the power tools.
So that guy took a shot at me for not having the power wash.
Saying that your father-in-law would have to drive
Bill,
you.
I got a chainsaw. I got all of it, man.
You have a chainsaw?
I have a chainsaw. I got a lot of loose limbs around my house. I got these old trees. They shed limbs all the time. So I chop them up and use them for firewood.
What, you putting the little things on your feet and climbing up the tree?
No, I don't do. No. It's just the limbs that fall. I don't go up on a tree and cut it down. The limbs that fall. A lot of limbs fall from weather situations because they're really old trees.
Yeah, no, Ray, I don't need to own a chainsaw.
Weed whacker, power washer, chainsaw.
Am I not a man because I don't own a chainsaw?
You have a drill. You have a drill, right?
Yeah,
you don't have a drill.
I have one. I don't get a lot of use though.
Get a lot of use.
I do have a drill.
Would you know if it got a lot of use?
Yes, I would. I do. So I just ordered new furniture for the deck that's going to come. I'm going to have to assemble it. I'll put it together.
Do you have a ratchet set?
Yeah.
Oh, you got a ratchet set?
You know why I have a ratchet set?
Why is that?
Because about 6 months ago, my father-in-law was over. He goes, "Yo, go get me your ratchet set." Like, I don't have one. So the next day, he brought one over for me. So now I have a ratchet set.
You're not a man. You didn't grow up a man. Not these menial tasks. All right, everybody, thank you for listening to the show. We really appreciate it. We'll be back at it tomorrow, and we'll talk to you then. Bye-bye, everybody.